the capability. This has the potential to be an even much bigger tornado than what we see there. We just got a new confirmed tornado warning that goes all the way down past Tennant, Westphalia. This storm, the storm that's producing a tornado right now, is expected to continue to produce a tornado as it goes towards you in Tennant, Portsmouth, Westphalia, Panama, Erling, and Defiance. Take shelter now. I can tell you right now, from seeing how
Ryan, we're about to have visual on this possible significant tornado south of Minden, Iowa.
From how big the rotating part of the storm
Getting blasted right now with about golf ball size to quarter size hail.
It's not going anywhere anytime soon. So this is going to be probably trying to cycle multiple times and be a cyclical tornado producer as it goes up past Minden and towards Shelby and Tennant next. Wow. An unbelievable day here. We've had countless tornadoes. I've lost count. We've got a tornado reports littered all over the map here. Reports of significant damage, injuries coming in from multiple towns in Nebraska and Iowa. And now it's, we're at 6:40 p.m. on the East Coast and 5:40 Central, and we've got another
tornado on the ground. It is
cyclical tornado.
It's a rope tornado right now, but it just started. Large mezzo and a huge wall cloud with it as well.
Chandra, put Brad in 1. And Elijah, go ahead.
Hey, Ryan. So now that you mentioned the multiple tornado reports we've had, I've seen several people in chat talk about that. So currently, as of right now, we have had 56 tornado reports. However,
Ryan, that rope has now turned into a cone slash
56 tornadoes.
Okay, wow. Thank you.
Most of those occurred from the same tornado, the long track one.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Elijah. And sorry,
Ryan, large wedge on the ground. This is
there's
coming
a lot
right towards the town of
A lot of
Minden.
people are talking at
Ryan,
once.
I feel like I'm repeating myself. We're going to board seats for this one as well.
Okay, so if you're just now tuning in, there's a lot going on here. Our storm chasers are chiming in one by one, telling us what we're seeing here through Brett Adair's feed. We're also seeing it through Brad's feed too, and Chris Hall's feed. But this is just an incredible view here. We have a huge tornado now that's on the ground, and unfortunately, this one's moving right into Minden. We might see this actually hit Minden, through the live feed here. And this is the view from Brad Arnold, who is actually on the road right now, Highway 66, looking south into Minden. So right now, the tornado is going through Minden. Minden is right along that road there. So, yeah, unfortunately, a huge, massive tornado is going through the town of Minden right now. All we can do is hope that those people heeded the warning and took shelter. Next in line, we've got Magill. You guys are going to be downstream.
From I-80, this is every bit of... I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see this is a half mile or a little bigger wide.
Magill, Yorkshire, and the areas in between. You guys are next. The tornado just went through Minden. Okay. Iowa, and it's going to kind of parallel the area between Tamarack Avenue and Highway 66, and it's going to cross Interstate 80 here very soon. My God. Brad Arnold is once again giving us a view of this thing as it approaches Interstate 80. He's currently on Highway 66.
To put this in perspective, this was a rope tornado about 2.5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
About to be a wedge.
Oh my God. This is Highway 66. He's looking south. He's about a couple miles north of Minden, looking south and east now. The tornado is paralleling the Tamarack Avenue area. We see a ton of debris, and we've got a view of it now from both Brad and Brett here. You can see it unbelievably clearly here. So once again, we have a tornado emergency now.
New information. This tornado warning has been
tornado
upgraded.
emergency is now in effect, which is the highest level tornado warning that can be possibly issued from the National Weather Service. Because we have a potentially catastrophic tornado on the ground now, producing damage near Minden, Iowa. It's going to be going towards Magill or Magil, Iowa. I don't know exactly how you guys say that, but it's Magill. And that's where it's going to be going next. Shelby and Yorkshire, you guys need to be getting underground as well. And then Tennant, Harlan, you guys are downstream from that. And the velocity signature here shows no real sign of this going anywhere anytime soon.
Ryan, this is a mile-wide plus wedge right now in the town of Minden.
So we've got Brad, who's really close, Brett, who's a little bit farther away, and then Chris, who's got a little bit more of a wider view of the tornado here. All three of them looking at the same storm as it's getting dangerously close now to Interstate 80. I really hope there's not a single soul on that road between Avoca and Neola along I-80, those exits there, because the tornado is getting larger, and you know, any car that's on the road there is going to get easily picked up by a tornado that strong. This is a live look from Storm Chaser Brad Arnold at a tornado that's in Iowa right now, producing damage. It's about to cross Interstate 80, just south of the town of Magill, and south and west of Shelby. Let me dive into the mesoscale a little bit more.
Ryan, once again, we're going to get within about 100 yards of this thing on the interstate.
Okay. All right, let's go back to the 3-view.
Large debris getting chunked in the air.
Large debris now visibly seen in the air from our storm chasers here. I'm going to go back to Brett Adair's feed and show you that. Right now, it's apparent to me that the tornado is crossing the road, the Interstate 80 area, just to the west of Shelby. Okay, if you know where the rest area westbound is, that's pretty much exactly where the tornado is.
This tornado warning has been upgraded.
All right, next up, it's going to cross highway or road L34, and then it's going to go across Elmwood Road as it parallels. Oh, if you know, man, there's a waterway here, but it's so small.
New
it doesn't have a name.
information. This tornado warning has been
but
upgraded.
Eventually, this is going to go past the rest area westbound, okay, and then potentially go up a little bit farther
Ryan,
to the north and east,
in front of us right now.
towards the Hackleberry Kennels area. Okay, and this thing is so big. If you guys live out here, imagine the area between
Hey Ryan, there's a wedge
Shelby.
on my feed if you want to take a look.
Magill and Shelby, Iowa, that whole stretch of road there could be, receiving a tornado damage here within the next couple of minutes. Okay, so we got to get everybody in Shelby underground, and then beyond that road, M16 north of Shelby, that's the next place where we're concerned about this tornado causing significant damage here. If you know where the Hackleberry Kennels is...
Hey Ryan, I know you got a lot going on, but I have a full shot that shows the full scale of this tornado right now from a distance.
Okay, we're going to go to Caleb Beecham's feed here right in a second. But this is the tornado as it's crossing Interstate 80 right now, right in front of Brad Arnold. Just really hope there's nobody on the road up there. Thankfully, this thing is so big and powerful that you can see it coming. I don't think there was anybody that was driving along and wasn't able to see that. So hopefully there was nobody on the road there. Here's that view from Caleb Beecham. Oh, it was just there. We'll go back to him whenever. There it is. Oh, I don't know what's going on. We'll go back to him right here in a second. But this is a view of that tornado from Brad's feed as it's now past Interstate 80. It passed the interstate right around the rest area westbound and the eastbound. So you know where the exits are there, just to the west of Shelby. Now it's continuing to move up. The next road it's going to pass is York Road and then Elmwood Road. We need everybody to take shelter there. Let's go back to the more distant view. So storm chaser Caleb Beecham is a little bit farther out. He's a couple miles.
A new tornado warning.
Yeah, a couple
has been
miles away
issued.
near Persia, on the road between Persia and Tennant. And even from that shot of this near Neola. And it's going to be for Tennant, Harlan, Westphalia, Erling, and Kirkman.
A new
All of
tornado
these places
warning has been issued.
are under tornado warnings, okay? We now have 9 tornado warnings. The majority of those tornado warnings are confirmed tornado warnings. There are tornadoes down all over the place out here in Iowa and down into Kansas, and there's a couple of warnings down into Texas and Oklahoma now.
A new tornado
Every
warning
single
has
warning
been
that comes
issued.
out today, you guys have got to take it seriously, like your life depends on it, because it literally might. This is potentially an unprecedented kind of outbreak in this small corner of the world over here that will be remembered for quite some time. So we need to make sure that before the next town gets hit, everybody there is aware of the severity of the situation, and we get them to take it seriously, because you guys know it's not like whenever there's a tornado warning, it's not everybody's first idea to take it extremely seriously a lot of the times. So this is a live look from Brett Adair. It looks like maybe within the last couple of seconds, maybe this has kind of lifted a little bit, but look, it's coming right back. Oh yeah, it's coming right back. Something that will happen with big monster tornadoes like this is they'll wedge out and they'll do a bunch of damage, and then there will have to be some sort of rebalancing that happens at the base of that storm. It'll dissipate and then come right back. We saw that with the storm that went through areas west of Omaha earlier, and now we're seeing it again with this storm. Another
Hey, Ryan, you remember when I was
tornado hit.
negative yesterday after our storm chase? I'm not negative anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. So unfortunately,
Ryan, I thought the first cone was beautiful. I think it's getting one-upped right now.
unfortunately, the tornado, we saw a tornado not too long ago, a huge wedge tornado. Unfortunately, after it dissipated, it's not gone completely. It's being preceded now by another big tornado that is in the Shelby County, Iowa area, now moving up towards Tennant, Iowa. Unbelievable. If you're just now tuning in, you're watching live severe weather coverage of a huge tornado outbreak that is really hitting the Iowa and Nebraska areas extremely hard. The extent of the damage isn't quite known yet, but what we do know is that it's not over. We still have a bunch of tornadoes on the ground, including this big one here in Shelby County. It's about to go through the general Tennant, Iowa area, so hopefully everybody there is in their safe spots. And we got over 100,000 people watching right now. So if you guys want to help these people, share the word. Send a text message to a family member or a friend or a loved one that you know in this area and be like, hey, you should probably watch the weather today, because this is actually a pretty significant tornado outbreak that's going on. You could literally save a life by getting somebody to take a warning more seriously.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
Thankfully, right now, This thing is mostly over kind of like farms and grasslands, but if it lasts a little while
Big time
longer,
natural gas smell on 80.
it's going to come into the tenant area and then eventually over there towards Westphalia. So, and those places are a little bit more populated, so we're hoping that this goes away. But from the looks of that, it's not going to. Oh my God. This is not sped up. This is not altered in any way. This is just a live look at an unbelievable storm here in Iowa. I can't believe some of the stuff that we've been seeing here. Wow. So yeah, right now, not a lot where this tornado is happening, but it's just about to come into Tennant, Iowa. I do want to show you what we're talking about here. Just a massive tornado producing life-threatening damage. Now moving up into Tennant. This is what we're talking about there. Next in line, this thing's going to be able to go up towards Harlan as well. Go ahead, Elijah.
Hey Ryan, just some
Hey Ryan, so I
bad
have a
news
very
on
quick
this
update
tornado
about
that's
the
heading.
Elkhorn tornado. So the American Red Cross and Salvation Army are currently staged at Arbor View Elementary School in Elkhorn, Nebraska.
Okay, thank you so much, Elijah, for giving us that information. Oh my God. Okay, all right. Let's look at this. Unfortunately, I just went to go view the storm on the radar, hoping to find some sort of sign that this thing is about to be over. But I found the opposite. This supercell is. I honestly, guys, I don't know if this is going to be over anytime soon. This looks like it's just now starting to ramp up. So we're about to see this tornado now go through another town here. This time, Tennant, Iowa, looks to be in the crosshairs of a potentially intense tornado that will damage homes. It will tear roofs off of homes and overturn vehicles and take up trees and all that stuff. So please take shelter if you haven't already. And at this point, there's not a lot we can do. I've been hooting and hollering the names of these towns and roads for an hour. All we can do is just hope that people are listening and they're watching this and they are in their safe spots or they're underground. There's nothing else anybody can do about this. Some places further downstream that are going to have to deal with this are places like Harlan, Iowa. Harlan, Iowa. You guys probably in areas just west of there, between Portsmouth and Harlan. If you live on that Highway 44 corridor, you are in probably one of the most dangerous places you could possibly be on Earth right now. We're just trying to be very tactful with how we word this, so that even the most people who normally don't pay attention to severe weather warnings will heed the warning. This is not a tornado. If this goes through Tennant, and it looks
Ryan,
like it's going to,
this, tornado
if you're in Tennant,
it still looks like it's a wedge tornado on the ground.
If you're in Tennant, this is not a tornado you're going to be able to accidentally survive. You're going to have to try. You're going to have to get underground. You're going to have to protect your head. You're going to have to defend yourself from flying debris.
A new tornado watch has been issued.
And I'm terribly sorry this is happening to you, but if you stick with us here, I'll let you know whenever it's time to come out of that safe spot, the shelter. But hunker down. And of course, there are other warnings right now. Obviously, I hope it makes sense why we're so intensely focused on the tornado warning up here in Iowa, or the tornado emergency, I should say, in Iowa. You know, there are a lot of people's lives are being changed right now from this tornado, and like it's going to keep happening. We just need to do everything we can to repeat ourselves and make sure that the message is heard there downstream from this thing. Right now, though, we only have the one, a tornado emergency, and then it does look like the rest of our tornado warnings right now, even though we have 8 of them, are radar indicated. My God. Here's an incredible view of that tornado from Bryce Shelton. And Brett Adair. Next, once again, the tenant just got hit from this.
Ryan, we got another
tornado.
half mile wide wedge with horizontal vortices doing lots of damage. Headed up towards, I think it's Hinton.
Yep. Tenant, the next in line is going to be Harlan, and areas just to the west of Harlan, Iowa. And
Hey Ryan, look at my feed. It's a video that speaks for itself.
Yeah, this is a great shot of this from Riley from a distance here. This is what's coming for you over there in Harlan, Iowa. I'm hoping that it goes west of town.
Hey Ryan, you got a copy when you have a second.
But it's likely going to go pretty close or somewhere between Portsmouth and Harlan. And once again, this is an extremely violent tornado. This is going to be a tornado that's like remembered in this area for a long time. We'll be talking about this years and years from now. We don't want you to be a part of that story in a negative way. Okay? So we need you to, once again, try to do everything that you possibly can to protect yourself from this deadly tornado that's going through town right now. Who was that just reached out? Caleb. Yeah, go ahead, Caleb. Unbelievable work from the storm chasers today. This is just it's so, like, we know exactly where the tornado is. We don't have to be completely reliant on the radar, even though in a situation like this, the radar is a very good indicator of where it is because the signature is so strong. So we just saw the town of Tennant either get grazed by or take a direct hit from a large tornado. Now the tornado is crossing the road. What is that? M16 here. And we're going to continue to see that go up to the north and northeast between Portsmouth and Harlan. Chandra, let's put Riley in 1. And actually, yeah, no, never mind. Keep it. Don't move it. So yeah, the town of Harlan needs to be underground right now. I do want to name out some more towns that'll be impacted by this further downstream. Okay, once again, Westphalia, Kirkman, Erling, Defiance, and Irwin. You guys have a little bit of time. In fact, if this tornado stays on the ground, if this tornado stays on the ground all the way to Defiance, Iowa, for example, you guys probably have a good 30 minutes heads up. Okay, do gather your belongings. All right, get underground, put on a pair of boots, pack an umbrella, do whatever it is that you think you would need to do. If your house got significantly damaged from a tornado, and then you had to evacuate in a downpour immediately after. It's an unfortunate situation to be in.
Still observing a lot of horizontal vortices, so it is very, very strong.
But you need to go ahead and prepare so that when this happens, if it does get to you, we're going to sit here and hope to goodness that it dissipates before it gets to you. But let's say that it doesn't. You're going to be so thankful that you prepared now and you didn't wait. Get into that safe spot, slap on a helmet, and bring me with you. And hopefully we'll get through this all right. Once again, a tornado emergency for Harrison and Shelby counties in Iowa. Currently over a field. Okay, we love that. We don't like it whenever it goes through towns and through residential areas. It's over a field, probably not doing much damage to any structures right now at this moment. However, as soon as it crosses over 1000th Street, which is what it's doing right now pretty much, it's going to be entering a slightly more populated area just to the west of Harlan. If you live along 1100th Street or up here a little bit farther to the north at 1200th Street, you guys are going to be next in line here if you're just to the west of Harlan to receive the impacts of this dangerous storm. That we just got a new tornado warning there. I very quickly want to take you to that one. Big time rotation signature here north and east of Mound City, moving up towards Skidmore, Belgrove, and
a new tornado
Maryville.
warning has been issued.
Okay, this is down in Missouri. Okay, so now we're talking about Missouri too. Take shelter down here in Skidmore, Quitman, and Maryville, Missouri. My goodness, another one in Missouri down here. Oh my gosh, this one looks significant too. Amos, Rock, Metz. Take shelter now. Another tornado warning for Veneta, Oklahoma. We've got tornadoes everywhere today, it seems. Tornado warning in New Boston, Maud, Redwater, Texas. Tornado warning in Grand Saline, Texas. Obviously, we've got to kind of stay focused on our big one here. So we're going to go back up here to Iowa. This is a live view of the tornado that's prompting a tornado emergency here just to the west of Harlan, Iowa. Hopefully everybody in the town of Harlan, Iowa is deep underground. And we also need you to be there in Westphalia, Iowa as well. This thing is... it's a nasty monster tornado, multiple vortices. It's doing significant damage. This is going to rip the roof right off your house, completely destroy a house if it hits it in the right way. That's the kind of situation that we're dealing with here. And unfortunately, we've been in a situation where we've seen this thing go through a lot of fields and like not have a lot of structures to hit. But if it keeps it up, unfortunately, this area between Westphalia and Harlan is a little bit more populated. We've got some homes out here, especially on 1400th Street, up here towards Farm Road 32, and then the area between Westphalia and Kirkland as well is also
Ryan,
a more populated area.
Just to the south side of Harlan. From my vantage point, the entire mezzo itself is way larger than a mile wide.
Yeah, this is one of the biggest tornado circulations I think I've ever seen. It's huge. It's huge. And then the actual tornado in there, it's just these recurring vortices that are like popping down at different times, kind of like a merry-go-round. And it's those kind of tornadoes that can sometimes do some of the worst damage, especially if a structure gets hit by one of those vortices. So that's why we're so concerned about this one potentially, impacting some structures up here along Highway 59 and Farm Road 32 between Westphalia and Harlan. If you're just now tuning in, we are talking about Iowa right now. I know I glance over at chat every once in a while. And I know we've got people pouring in. There's a Harlan town in every state, it seems. This is Harlan, Iowa, okay? Westphalia and Kirkman, Iowa. This is where we're concerned about the potentially catastrophic tornado that's occurring right now. Hopefully everybody in Harlan is still underground. That's a very close call there. I do believe the vast majority of the circulation went to the west of town. This is a live look from Chris Hall of the storm that's continuing to look incredibly impressive on radar. The radar presentation of the storm continues to promote the idea that this is going to continue to be able to produce a tornado for quite some time. However, it does look like there's a small chance that we might be experiencing another one of those little recalibration cycles. Okay, so at this very moment, we might not have a tornado down, but it could come back extremely quickly. Riley Dibble's close.
Ryan, it's going to be going right in front of the stream here in just a minute. Once well, no, it's not, because it looks like PD's got the road shut down. Large tornado. Yeah.
Okay, so now we're getting into a situation where, once again, it's getting close to a more populated area. Westphalia, I've said that name of that town, I don't know how many times. I hope people are listening. That's all I know to say. We've got to get you underground. This is going to come right up into Westphalia, or the areas between Westphalia and the Highway 59 and Farm Road 32 intersection. This right here is how we know there's a big tornado on the ground, even without the storm chasers. All right, we've got a big hook echo, also with a debris ball in there. So this reflectivity that you see here is likely from debris, different trees and like shingles and stuff like that, not even from raindrops. And
Ryan, we may have a satellite tornado trying to form on the south side of the thing.
Once again, we've got an incredible debris signature on our correlation coefficient. If you don't know what we're looking at here, the dark blue indicates areas where there's stuff in the sky that's different sizes from the other stuff that's in the sky. So usually you've got raindrops up there, right? We'll throw some tree branches, some leaves, and shingles and pieces of people's houses and stuff. I think this is it's bigger now than it was last time.
A mile-wide wedge in front of us right now, crossing the road.
Oh my God. Dude. This is a
new tornado warning has been issued.
Ryan, we got number 8, tornado number 8 on the stream right now.
I don't even, I'm speechless. I'm literally speechless right now, y'all. It is now, you can see now that the storm chasers are not as much on dirt roads and back roads and stuff. We're starting to see more cars on the road. We're starting to enter into some more populated areas. So now it's really important that we start to calling out some mesoscale stuff, which is what we're going to do now. And I'm going to start looking into that while meteorologist Andy Hill talks to you. Go ahead, Andy.
Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, I wouldn't break anything. I wouldn't break in with anything that isn't significant. I do think that there is a possibility that there's a tornado headed into Skidmore, Missouri. That's to the south and west a little bit of Maryville, Missouri, in Nottoway or Nottoway County. I cannot 100% confirm that the area of correlation coefficient drop is from debris. half of it is probably from hail from the Kansas City, Missouri radar. But just in case, since this is headed very close to the town of Skidmore, if not right into it, I want to mention it and make sure we have another stimulus going for the people there ahead of time and those who may know somebody there. Down the line from Skidmore, this will take a direct track to Maryville, Missouri, as well, and surrounding areas. So if you know anyone in Maryville, Missouri, I know there's more population there, so let them know ahead of time they are in a tornado warning already, but let this serve as another reason to tell them.
Okay. Thank you very much, meteorologist Andy Hill, for drawing our attention down there into Missouri. Another tornado on the way. Storm chaser Bryce Shelton is too close to this thing. But, I mean, if you needed another reason to seek shelter, there it is. A super powerful tornado there, now moving into the general Westphalia area. This is going to get really close to the Westphalia Fire Department, okay, within the next couple of minutes here. And then from there, we've also got to be worried about the Zimmerman's Dairy Farm. All right, so that's kind of within the next couple of minutes, that's where this thing's going to be. And this tornado is probably so big that the circulation will encompass an area that is the size of the space between the Zimmerman's dairy farm and the Rosman Glendale Farms golf course.
Has been issued.
If you understand, if you live down here, if you know what I'm talking about, imagine the space between those two things. That's how big this tornado is. Go ahead, Andy.
Sorry, Ryan. I believe there's another tornado about to touch down or ongoing. Look at this one from the Springfield, Missouri radar near Metz, Rich Hill. That's southern Bates County, Missouri, very far northern Vernon County, Missouri, well out of the way of Nevada, Missouri, is going to your north. Rich Hill is the community there that is most in danger from this possible tornado that's already ongoing. This is not a confirmed warning yet, so just use this as further information that this does look like it will produce a tornado very shortly if it's not already doing so, and will cross over Highway 71 north and south through those counties in southwestern to central western Missouri.
All right. Thank you, meteorologist Andy
Ryan,
Hill.
we do have major structural damage.
That was Chris. We're already hearing reports of damage. He's brought our attention a little bit farther south here into Missouri, Rich Hill, Missouri, and Panama, Missouri. You guys need to get to shelter fast. It looks like another situation where we're going to have a big tornado here, all the way down towards Papenville, Prairie City, and Rockville. We've got tornado warnings in Missouri. We've got one down there in Texas. Most of our tornado warnings are in either Missouri or Iowa now. We do want to make sure that if anybody who's watching right now that
a new
knows
tornado
anybody
warning has been issued
in this part of Missouri down here to the west of El Dorado Springs and Appleton City, please share this information with them and let them know that this is a big deal for them. These storms are something else, man. We are in the middle of what is likely a historic, kind of really memorable, outbreak of storms and tornadoes here. So we don't want to doubt any storm. We don't want to overlook any storm. We want to understand that they're all going to be capable of doing what we've seen from these storms up here in Iowa, even. We've got
New
another
information.
There it is.
This
a
tornado
confirmed
warning has been
tornado
upgraded.
now in Nottoway and Holt County in Missouri. Take shelter if you're in those counties. This is a potentially life-threatening situation. Brad Arnold, we got to go look at what's going on where he is. He's very close to the circulation there. Tornado just went right in front of him. And now Riley's got a more wide view of that. This tornado is, unfortunately, it looks like it's veering. Man, it's so big, it's hard to say. Like, it's almost
a new
the
tornado
size of,
warning has been issued.
the space between Irwin and Kirkman. But Defiance, Irwin, and Kirkman, all of these places need to be underground. I'm just going to leave it at that. Let's not make it too complicated. Please take shelter if you're in those areas. This is an extremely life-threatening situation here. And I'm going to go down a little bit here. I briefly want to show you the Texas tornado warning too, just because I know we got people watching down there.
We may have a second tornado developing behind the original rotation.
Okay, so that was Chris. Grand Saline, you guys are still under a tornado warning. Not the same level of stuff going on down there, but we're going to keep checking in on you. Also, we've got another tornado warning that's just come out here behind our tornado warning that's prompted the tornado emergency earlier, and now the huge tornado that's ongoing going up towards Defiance. New tornado warning for Portsmouth, Panama, and Dunlap in Iowa. You guys have got to take shelter right now. And I mean, these tornadoes today they last a long time. So as soon as a storm gets its act together and it starts producing a tornado, we need to assume that it's just not going to stop anytime soon, because that's the way that today has worked, and that's not a common trait of tornadic storms. A lot of times it happens quickly and then it's over. Today has been one of those days where we've dealt with long track cyclical supercells, and it looks like that's going to continue to be the case here, especially for this storm that's going up towards Defiance and Irwin right now. I hope you guys are taking shelter. The current, if I was to tell you where the tornado is currently, based off of what I can tell, it is going to be somewhere near the Rossman Glendale Farms golf course. We talked about this earlier, okay? And the next major road or larger road that the storm is likely to cross is Farm Road 24, okay? And from there, I'm not sure if it's going to parallel 59 and go up towards Defiance, or if it's going to continue to go north and east more towards Astor Cemetery. But both of you all need to be deep underground and in your safe spots. Another potential place that this could be going is the Pink Petunia and the Vern Wilmer wildlife area. If you guys know where those places are, you can probably see the tornado very well from there, but it's coming towards you, okay? And you need to take shelter now. All of these storms a little bit farther to the south as well in southwestern Iowa are rotating quite significantly. We've got a confirmed observed tornado warning for Maryville, Iowa. You guys need to be taking shelter. I'm sorry, that's Missouri. Sorry. Maryville, Missouri, and then also we've got a really serious situation unfolding down here between Rich Hill and Papenville in Missouri, because not only is it the storm that we're looking at there likely producing a tornado or about to, we've got other supercells popping up behind it that will have the same opportunity to do that again as they move into the Missouri area. Yeah, this is just a big widespread tornado outbreak now that is affecting a large area. We're bouncing back and forth between Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Iowa now. That most recent warning is for a rotating storm down here on the border of Missouri and Kansas, and it's now going up towards Lenox, Gravity, Sharpsburg, and Clearfield. If you're in any of those places, you need to take shelter. Let's go back to our chaser feeds, because this huge monster tornado just won't give up. It's still there. It's still going. It's still producing damage. And now it does look to me like it's going to come right into Defiance, or come really close, and it's going to happen within the next minute or a couple of seconds. We've been hooting and hollering about Defiance all for over an hour, I feel like. So hopefully everybody in that town has been aware, because I think it's going through or the town right now, or really close. Go ahead, Caleb.
Hey, just something I've noticed in the last couple of minutes here, but I'm seeing a significant uptick in lightning here, so I do have reason to believe that this is still not done strengthening, so it could be getting stronger at this point as well.
Okay, Caleb Beecham is noticing an uptick in lightning, and I am too. Just looking at these streams here, like you can see, there's a lot of cloud to ground lightning strikes seemingly happening in the tornadic circulation, and then also outside of it as well. It's an incredible view that we are getting here from Brett Adair and Freddie McKinney. As once again, we've got a huge tornado coming through the Defiance area in Iowa. We've got two distinct areas of rotation here. I don't know if we're seeing some sort of handoff or recycling going on, or if we've literally got two separate tornadoes about to happen. But regardless, Astor and Manila now in Iowa. You guys are next in line for this damaging storm to come through. Astor and Manila in Iowa. You guys have got to get to shelter fast. Beyond that, if this thing keeps going, and we might as well assume that it will, it's going to go up there towards areas just east of Denison. Okay.
New information.
And there it is,
This
another
tornado
one.
warning
Hey
has been
Ron, we're going
upgraded.
east on
PDS
Thunder Road. We're
tornado
trying to get up
warning.
towards Irwin. I knew the road would probably be blocked off from the damage path. Do have structural damage. A lot of roofs are torn off, especially of barns, and big trees like the one right in front of me. Definitely a big, significant uptick in CGE lightning. This is nowhere close to being done.
A large damaging tornado is on the ground now, and that's why we got that new PDS tornado warning. PDS tornado warning means a particularly dangerous situation. It's an upper echelon tornado warning issued by the National Weather Service whenever they think a life-threatening tornado of upper magnitude is headed into some maybe some populated areas. I'm really worried about Astor and Manila up here in Iowa. This thing has kind of skirted by some towns. It has hit some places, but I don't know if we've seen a complete direct impact just yet, especially with the big wedge version of the tornado that we've seen here recently. That could happen in Manila. We're going to hope that it doesn't, but regardless of what we hope for and what could happen, based off of everything that we've seen so far today, I really hope that everybody in the town of Manila is already underground and you stay there until it's time to come out. Now, speaking of that, if you are in Westphalia, Kirkman, or Harlan, Tennant, any of these places back behind the path of the tornado, the tornadic part of the storm is past you, but there's a line of probably some strong winds and some hail that's about to come through. So it's about to storm again in some of these places that just got a big tornado. So if you are somebody that's been affected by a tornado here, unfortunately now you've got to deal with a close to severe thunderstorm as it comes through. So the look of our storm here on radar, to me, it looks a little bit less impressive than what we've seen earlier. But I don't know if that's because we are kind of getting a little bit further away from the radar, or if we're actually seeing a downward kind of trend in the activity with the storm there. But it's still a strong storm. I'm hoping that what I'm seeing is a sign of this thing maybe starting to give up. You don't see that very clear giant hook coming out from the storm. It's a little bit more compact here. Maybe the actual tornadic part of the storm is going to occlude and shut off that inflow. If that happens, we might have a little while here where we don't have to deal with a giant tornado coming towards Manila. But right now, that is the case. Take shelter. The velocity still looks nuts, that's for sure. Speaking of velocity, things are coming together a little bit more down here in southwestern Iowa. Storm is really organizing. That's coming up towards Bedford and Gravity and Sharpsburg and Lenox. You all need to take shelter immediately if you haven't already. Maryville, Missouri, you guys as well. Man, the Rock Hill storm continues to look really impressive. I don't know if we've got any chasers or any reports coming out of that area, but I would be surprised if this thing didn't at least have a big funnel. We'll see what happens with that one. But Appleton City, Pleasant Gap, y'all get ready there in Missouri for a potential tornado. No tornado warnings right now in Texas or Oklahoma or Arkansas. That's probably going to change at some point, so we're going to come back to y'all here soon and update you whenever those storms get going out there. If you are just now tuning in, this is a live severe weather coverage of a big-time tornado outbreak that is ongoing out here. We do still have a PDS tornado warning out there, and that's going to be for Harrison County, Iowa. Okay, the town of Manila is in pretty significant danger here as the rotating part of the storm is coming right through town. Beyond that, we enter a very rural area where there's not a lot of anything. There are a couple homes here and there between Denison and Manila. We want those people to, be in their safe
New
spots as well.
This tornado warning
But
has been
hopefully
upgraded.
this thing dies out somewhere over a field here before we have to deal with this
another tornado coming
closer to
down.
Wall Lake.
It's going to be just to the south side of. It's going to be a decently sized tornado coming on now.
But unfortunately, as we're hearing from our storm chasers, another tornado is forming. As you can see here from Freddie McKinney's view. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, Ryan, I can talk about that. This is a mesocyclone handoff, and those usually occur to the south and east of our original circulation. So you can see that on the radar, especially from Omaha. It's this new area of broad circulation is off to the east of where our tornado just started occluding and shooting up more to the north on the west side of that huge area of velocity right there. So I would say that this is a classic mesocyclone handoff. We're seeing the results of that at the surface. That's why this new tornado looks pretty distant from all the chasers who are right on the previous tornado that may be done now. So yeah, we're watching that occurring in real time. A mile above the surface is where we're seeing this handoff occur, and then we see the results of that at the surface. Corresponding to that, which is pretty intense. The other thing I want to say is that the Rich Hill, Missouri, right after you talked about it, that tornado warning was confirmed. And it also has a classic look from the Springfield radar where we see the whole mesocyclone or spinning part of the storm to the north and our surface circulation showing up on radar just to the south of that in the hook of the storm. Whenever we see those two velocity couplets like that, we can depict which one is where the tornado actually is. And it often does correspond to an ongoing tornado. That's a very frequent pattern recognition thing there in west central Missouri.
Okay. Thank you so much, meteorologist Andy Hill, for kind of drawing our attention to the mesocyclone handoff here and that storm in Missouri, which we're going to go look at right here in a moment. This is our original tornadic circulation kind of occluding into the storm there. Now we've got a new huge area of inflow kind of wafting over Manila and then back into the storm where a new tornado is trying to form just to the north and west of town. This will likely carry...
It is on the ground, Ryan. It's a multiple vortex tornado.
Yeah, this will likely carry the storm even farther north, and it's going to produce another wedge tornado, likely as it does that. We just heard from Freddie McKinney. We see multiple vortices once again on the ground here. Brad Arnold should also have that in view if he gets a little bit of service, as he is kind of just to the north and west of Manila here, giving us a view of that, pointing towards the south and east. We'll look at Freddie's view as well. We'll look at them both. So yeah, this is a big tornado still producing a big tornado somewhere near Manila, moving up to the north and east. It's going to cross over highway. I'm sorry. 330th Street. That's where it's going to go after it crosses Highway 141. It's going to go across the grid there to 330th Street, and then it's going to continue to potentially go northeast. Hopefully not impacting much of anything, but if it does keep going, Vale and West Side are kind of next in line to potentially see the impacts of this huge, dangerous storm. Yeah, you can see it now on Freddie's stream there really well, how it's developing, just like that other one did. I mean, it literally looks exactly like the other big wedge tornado that we just watched form moments ago. It's doing the same thing again.
Ryan, tornado on the ground again. It's still multi-vortex. It is not a complete wedge tornado, but it's a multi-vortex tornado.
Wow. So this one, if you're just now tuning in, you see the big tornado. This is the one that's heading up to areas just north of Manila, Iowa, just north and west of Aspinwall. Everybody in those towns and everywhere in between needs to be in their safe spot. And the lightning with this thing, man. Let's see here, Aspinwall. Yeah, so the area that we're looking at here, Brad Arnold, is on Highway 141. Okay, it just crossed 141 to the west of the Manila turnoff there. So near the Nishabanta Cemetery. That's where the tornado is right now. If you know where Nishabanta Cemetery, that's where the tornado is right now. It's going to be going up there between the Rainbow Vacuum Center and South Avenue E53. And then, honestly, y'all, it's like, it's going to be in just a big grass field area.
Ryan, if you saw that right there, that was a multi-vortex wedge tornado that was about 50 yards off the ground. Once it hit that elevation, it became a wedge tornado, and there's likely a lot of trees down up on that little bit of a hill.
Storm Chaser Caleb Beecham has an incredible view of this from a distance. Yeah, so there's some stuff out here, but hopefully, somewhere over this big field here between Manila and Vale, this thing weakens out. But right now it's a huge damaging tornado, and it is moving in the general direction of Vale, Iowa. Y'all need to take shelter. This is Harrison County, Iowa, okay? Harrison County, Iowa. If it continues on the exact same kind of trajectory that it's going on right now, it'll either go right into Vale or be very close in that bend of Highway 30 just to the west there. But if I'm in Vale, I'm assuming that this is coming right for me, and hopefully I was in my safe spot 30 minutes ago. But you got to get there now. You're not technically in that PDS warning, but if we continue to see this, I would say that they're probably going to issue another one. And we see the new debris here starting to be picked up by that new tornado. And by the way, we can see the old debris way out here. If we're looking at the correlation coefficient, this big cloud of like yellows and blues here, that's debris that was picked up closer to Harlan and Defiance. and now it could be raining tornado debris on parts of Wall Lake.
Ryan, still
Huron,
tornado on the
Lakeview.
ground, but it is now rain wrapped.
Tornado seems to be rain wrapped now as we do continue to see the tornado debris signature here. It's about to cross over E53. The road there, the name of the road is E53. 53 East. So now it looks like the tornado is mostly rain wrapped, so we're not going to be able to see it as well. However, thankfully, technology allows us to see pretty much exactly where it is here through our correlation coefficient. The blues indicate areas that, there's stuff in the sky that shouldn't be there, and we know because, we've been watching it all day, that stuff is there because of a tornado. Right now it's somewhere to the north and west of Manila, south of 53 East. And it's going in the general direction of Vail, Iowa.
Ryan, we had to get extremely close to see this, but you can see it right now. It's coming in your screen.
Okay, yeah, I do see it. It's still there. It's still there, and it is mostly rain wrapped. If you're a resident out here in Iowa, and you plan on going out on your porch or to try to go look at this thing, you're not going to see it unless you get as close as Brad here, and then you're already way too close, and you need to be in your safe spot. So don't try to go look at this one. It ain't going to be a pretty sight, and it could even sneak up on you as the rain might just look like a normal storm until it gets right up on you. But yeah, that's still a big-time tornado there, going up the 300th Street now towards Vail, Iowa. We currently have 4 tornado warnings, which is actually the lowest amount I think we've had in quite some time.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
Make that 5. St. Clair County, Missouri is now under a tornado warning, and I do want to say that we've got a bunch of tornado warnings down there in Missouri. In fact, there is one confirmed tornado warning for Bates County, Missouri. And we're going down there and checking in with y'all as much as possible. In fact, I think we should do that right now. Yeah, so got a really strong rotation here south of Pleasant Gap, likely producing a tornado that's moving over there towards Appleton City, Lindale, and Copeland. So if we're watching in Missouri right now and we're anywhere near Appleton City, we got to get to shelter. That's a very dangerous looking storm there. Lots of severe thunderstorm warnings in Texas right now, but
Ryan,
no tornado warnings.
I know you can't really see. We're getting hit with RMD right now, but the tornado is probably about maybe a couple football fields in front of us.
Wow. Brad Arnold is really getting close there to the tornado as it moves off to the north and east past his location. Look at this. This is literally where the tornado is, and that is Brad Arnold's location right there. Too close, in my opinion. But Brad Arnold is the guy. You know, he's the storm chaser guy. So we're going to trust him and let him do what he needs to do to show us what's going on out there and give us this vital information, like the storm is right now at this very moment just now crossing over 300th Street. And it looks to me like it's almost paralleling the street, but with a little bit of a kind of easternly component. So we can say that the next road that this will cross is R Avenue, then Q Avenue.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
Another tornado warning in Missouri. Bates County and Henry County take shelter. Oh my gosh, that semi-truck. Was that semi-truck in the daggone tornado? It looks like it just drove out of it. this thing is still huge. If you're just now tuning in, the exact location that Brad Arnold is in is just to the north of Manila, Iowa. He is now on S Avenue, moving east. The tornado is behind him to his north and west. It's about to cross 300th Street again as it's kind of zigzagging back and forth.
A new PDS tornado
there.
warning has been issued.
All right, we've got ourselves, I don't know how many of these we've had today, but we've got ourselves another PDS tornado warning. A potentially large damaging tornado is on the ground. Not potentially, we know it for sure. A large damaging tornado is on the ground right now. You've got to take shelter in Vail, Iowa, Deloitte, Kieran, Boyer River, and all these places in between here in, what is this, still Harrison County? Harrison County in Iowa. This is a life-threatening situation. Seek shelter now. We've got a damaging tornado on the ground, and now it's getting really close to Vail. I don't like how close to Vail we were seeing this thing. Vail's a small town, okay, but we've got some stuff out here. Lots of the little houses, some businesses and stuff. If this thing continues to go in the direction that it's been going, it's possible that the little town of Vail there could take a direct hit from a massive tornado. The tornado itself being maybe even a little bit larger than the town. That's how small the town of Vail is. But hopefully everybody there is aware of what's going on, and we've got them into their safe spots, and then we're just going to ride this out together here. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey, Ryan Riley says that there is a tornado due west of him as well, which would put it just outside of Manila still. So we may have multiple sort of circulations ongoing, filtering kind of to the south along a train of rotating parts of the storm. So he's seeing the wedge tornado, which would be due north of him, but also perhaps different tornadoes ongoing to the west, which would also be somewhat rain-wrapped as well. So this whole storm is dangerous as it moves off to the north-northeast.
Okay. Thank you, meteorologist Andy Hill. We've got tornadoes, honestly, coming out of every part of this big circulation here that's now coming up into Vail. So, yeah, I really hope everybody in that town is in their safe spot. And then beyond that, we've got to worry about Deloitte, Boyer, and Boyer River. Y'all need to take shelter. I really quickly want to go down here to Missouri, just make sure we're not missing anything down there. Still seeing a big rotation signature and a strong storm capable of producing a tornado approaching Appleton City. Hopefully everybody in Appleton City is in their safe spots and taking shelter. We also need you to do that in Montrose and Deepwater. This is a very dangerous situation. Tornado warnings down here in southwestern Iowa are not as impressive. However, there is some strengthening rotation happening here between Gravity and Sharpsburg. So if I would live there all the way up towards Clearfield and Kent in Iowa, I would be taking shelter. Obviously, you're under a tornado warning, and this is the kind of storm today that could produce a big tornado at any moment. Yeah, look at this. There's a couple different places where the tornado could technically be based off of what we're seeing off velocity. Or potentially even a couple tornadoes here. So it's getting ready to come right into the general Vail, Iowa area. So hopefully everybody's in their safe spot. Let's look at Freddie's feed. I see it. I see one of them. Freddie McKinney is pretty far to the south and east of Vail. Not pretty far, but more than I thought he would be. based off of what we just saw. So I think that, let me come back to the radar here. I think that Freddie McKinney is like right in here looking at this circulation. And then, some of the other storm chasers are looking at this one. So there is a tornado associated with this part of the storm right here. If you are in Vail, if you are in the path of this storm at all, what you need to do is you need to get underground, preferably. You need to get into the lowest room, lowest level of a sturdy building and put as many walls between you and the outside world as possible. You need to brace for impact. This is going to be a very strong storm. It could potentially cause destructive damage to whatever structure you're in. You want to protect your head, put on a pair of shoes. You might have to evacuate and walk over nails, glass, and all that stuff. And you want to bring a charged phone with you so you can call people and continue to get updates even if the power goes out, hopefully. Sometimes the cell service will go out, but we're getting better at maintaining that, even in some of the bigger disasters. All right. It's been like 5 hours since I've stood up. I've got to go get myself another water. I will be right back. Andy, if you want, you have the mic.
Okay. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, I have just started watching the storms that are approaching Little Rock, Arkansas. So also thinking about Arkansas. As these storms move into the metro area, they are exiting some of the more stable air, entering more unstable air, which is what would be more conducive for producing tornadoes here. So storms are about 25, 35 minutes out of most of the metro from west to east, lower time to higher time. I do think that there is a chance that these could produce tornadoes, so please be aware ahead of time that these storms are entering Little Rock with that potential. You can let people know, use us as another resource to say, hey, just in case, you should be aware of the weather that is approaching Little Rock and the surrounding areas of the metro and Pulaski County especially. That could go all the way up to Jacksonville, maybe Mayflower. I think Conway, Arkansas will be okay. You guys should get more of that light to moderate rain that's a little bit further north of most of the severe. However, you could still see some severe conditions, so keep an eye out here in central Arkansas. That's where my eye is now, outside of our current tornado warnings. Back to where we're looking right now. Again, the huge circulation approaching Vail, Iowa does not have a deep debris signature on radar, but we are looking over a mile up above the surface, so this still has the potential to do weak to moderate tornado damage anywhere around the town as it approaches Highway 30 from the south. Next up in line for this storm is Boyer, Iowa, and then into southern and southwestern Sac County in Iowa. Odebolt, Wall Lake, and Lakeview are the closest towns up there that are currently not tornado warned, but will be tornado warned ahead of time here as soon as the storm gets closer to the county. About 20 minutes out from now, 15 to 20 minutes out is when I would expect that to happen. I do want to say thank you guys, everyone who has watched today at any point and has either relayed information through us or has learned something from us today. It's very important that, we can make the best of these events that are horrible for many people and get education and information out to a grand amount of people. And then afterwards, I am more than I am elated to be a part of an effort that is ongoing with the team through our 501c3 nonprofit, the Y'all Squad. We will definitely be talking about the Y'all Squad on stream, so make sure you stick around for that at any point. The Y'all Squad is going to make a huge impact for multiple areas that were impacted today for sure. And I can't even put into words what it's like to be a part of that operation that can help people before something impacts them, via my words and Ryan's words, analyzing the radar, and afterward in recovery efforts and the humanity element that often gets lost in storms and coverage like this. So just wanted to say a quick shout out for that. We've got multiple tornadic circulations as well in northeastern Taylor County, Iowa, and southeastern Adams County, Iowa. So we're going to be watching those pretty closely as well, Ryan.
Okay, thank you so much, Andy. And we're gonna get right back into doing what we were doing here, tracking these tornadic circulations, talking with our storm chasers, and going back and forth between Iowa, Missouri. Actually, Iowa and Missouri are the only places where we have tornado warnings right now. But we'll probably see more at some point, maybe a little bit farther south. And we're also, as Andy was just talking about, going to be, wow, yeah, these storms down here are starting to look a little bit more concerning in southwestern Iowa here. But anyways, as Allie, I can't talk. As Andy was saying, we are also talking now already amongst ourselves about the potential y'all squad, situation and what we're going to do to try to, help these people out. I haven't even said a word about it so far today, and you guys have already helped us generate $30,000 through our website, theyallsquad.org. We're going to take every bit of that to these towns in Iowa and Nebraska and all these places.
Has been
issued. And we're just going to start writing checks, and we're going to start helping people. Thank you for that. If you want to help us do that in a greater magnitude, go to theyallsquad.org. It's a tax-deductible official 501c3 nonprofit donation. It's all there for you on theyallsquad.org, and you can help us do that. Thank you. All right, we just got a new tornado warning for Creston, Orient, and Afton in Iowa, and unfortunately, I'm seeing a pattern here. We started off, watching those storms back up in this area. Okay, we started off watching them up here, and then we had another area of big storms that produced big tornadoes right down and through here. That's where our storm chasers are now, and it looks like another big area of concern is kind of developing with these supercells as they are starting to show signs of incredibly strong rotation as well. So the supercell that's coming up here towards Lennox, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, and Kent looks to me like something that is really trying to produce a tornado here. Also, the circulation approaching Creston and Orient as well. And then we have to watch this other one back here near Bedford. So
hey Ron,
y'all
Chris,
watch out there. I got to replay that 1 second.
Hey Ron, it's Chris. Do you have a copy?
I do, but I can't reach you. You don't have service. Yes, go ahead, Chris.
Hey Ron, so we have dropped back. I'm gonna drop back toward the 80 corridor. I'm gonna see, try to get down to the bottom of
A
the
new
tunnel.
tornado
Actually,
warning has been issued.
Okay, I understood some of those words.
But we're dropping back south, and after this squall line goes by, if it does something, we're gonna go with it. But if it does not,
Okay. All right, so that was an update from Chris.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
We've got a bunch of tornado warnings coming out here, so I want to make sure we're diving right back into that, and not leaving anything out here. We've got a new tornado warning for Manila again, Aspinwall, West Side, and Arcadia. So Manila, that original tornadic circulation that caused all the fuss earlier has moved past you, but now we have a new circulation here developing that's going to go through, probably through town again. Hopefully it's not going to be producing a tornado this time, but it's going to be trying to as it goes towards Aspinwall and Arcadia in Iowa. And then I also want to look at these again. Yeah, these, I don't like the look of this. These looks like these storms are going to try really hard to do a similar thing as to what we saw a little bit farther to the north and west. I'm hoping that it's not going to be quite as intense, but they are slowly but surely increasing their inflow and all of the stuff that goes along with that. Same thing down here in Missouri. These storms continue to look impressive and intense, and we've got a tornado warning for Appleton City and Montrose, and we want you all to take shelter now. Andy's got something for us, and as soon as Andy is done there, Elijah, you can go ahead. But Andy, go ahead.
Thanks, Ryan. There is a tornado down with the Cromwell, Iowa storm. That is the northern of the pair that we are watching here in southwestern Iowa. There is a debris signature you can flick to on the correlation coefficient that is verifiable and is right outside of town. They have a couple minutes before it skirts off to the south and east, hopefully, of the town, and hopefully does not impact Cromwell, Iowa, and should go right outside of Creston, Iowa as well. Cross your fingers that neither town gets impacted here with an ongoing tornado, likely to be confirmed via warning soon. You'll hear it on the stream.
Okay, thank you very much, meteorologist Andy Hill. Now go ahead, Elijah.
Hey Ryan, so we have a report of extreme damage in the
New information. This tornado
western
warning
side
has
of
been upgraded.
Manila, and that is an interesting damage path there. The center of rotation did not actually go over Manila. Because of how large the tornado is, the center of rotation was almost half a mile away based on radar. So the tornado could have been up to, my estimate, maybe 1.25 miles wide, potentially.
Wow. Okay, thank you very much, Elijah. Lots of news coming out from some of these storms that have produced big-time tornadoes. Now another one coming up towards Cromwell, Iowa, and maybe, potentially, Creston, Iowa. Y'all need to really get to shelter, and you got to get there fast. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, Ryan, oh my goodness. I thought that there's going to be another confirmed warning for this one that is just outside Manila, Iowa. Elijah literally just talked about places damaged there. There's another tornado on the ground right to the northwest of town. Freddie is really close to this, so pull up Freddie's feed for sure. This has been doing damage for a little bit. That was that new confirmed warning, and we'll likely see another new confirmed warning for further south into Adams and Union County, Iowa. So another tornado literally in the same spot as where we just saw that huge wedge go through.
Okay.
Right, we've got emergency managers doing search and rescue from the tornado that just came through here. We now have a confirmed tornado that is headed right towards those emergency managers, and they're not doing search and rescue. Hopefully they get out of the way.
Yeah, this is an extremely unfortunate situation for Manila. We just had a tornado go through, and obviously search and rescue is underway. People are coming out. They're evacuating, their structures and stuff. And we have another tornado now coming into the general Manila area just on the northwest side of town, which is pretty much exactly where that other tornado went. So literally tornado hitting twice in the same area within a not very long, like 30 minutes of each other, is unbelievable and unfortunate. And here we are. Brad Arnold's showing us a video of this. Freddie McKinney also has this. We've got a tornado ongoing here between Manila and Vail, which is unfortunately a place that was just hit by a tornado. Next up, again, some of the same places, Deja Vu, Vail, and then maybe this will make it all the way up there towards West Side and Arcadia as well. But we'll keep you updated on that. Brad Arnold's deep in the storm here. He's really close to that circulation, but you can't really see much from his point of view. But we definitely saw that tornado from Freddie's feed there just moments ago. It's there, it's down, and it's doing damage again, unfortunately. Back to southwestern Iowa, I really quickly want to show you this. These storms are continuing to cause some problems here. We've got that tornado that's down.
Has been issued.
That's coming up into Cromwell. Okay, hopefully everybody in Cromwell is in their safe spots. I also really hope that everybody in Creston is getting to their safe spots as well, because this is generally coming towards you. We're going to hope it slides by to the west, but it could come into town if it remains as intense as it is right now, the circulation. And then we've also got this much
Ryan,
broader...
we just got a tornado warning. We are south of Irwin. We're more than likely going to have a view of this any minute now. Actually, yep, we do, just to our southwest.
There's Chris. And he's talking about he's near Irwin, another tornado warning there. And then this circulation is also about to impact places like Kent and Shannon City. Y'all get ready. And then, man, we got another one back here coming up towards Parnell, Sheridan, and Grant City, Missouri. Get ready for that one too. This is where Chris Hall is. Okay, and we've got a new tornado warning for Kirkman and Irwin for this circulation, which will likely increase in intensity over time. Expecting a new tornado there at some point here in the near future, okay? Wow. This is, this is crazy. This is unbelievable. I don't know. We've had 70, or we've had over 80 tornado warnings today. I don't know how many tornadoes we've had or reports we've had, but it's been a lot. This has been one of the most active days I think we've ever had to cover here. One of. And it's not even over yet. It's 8:04 on the East Coast, 7:04 Central. We've been live now for 6 hours, nonstop, talking about tornadic storms here. And we're still right in the thick of it. Brad Arnold is basically inside of this tornado here near Manila, Iowa. Chandra, if we can change his location to Manila. Manilla. 72 reports. Man. Yeah, Brad Arnold's literally in the circulation, it seems, as or at least in the rear flank downdraft, as you can see the incredibly strong winds in front of him. That's all blowing into and around the tornado that is in front of him, going up towards Vail. And this thing is big. This was probably another big tornado in there. But it's certainly wrapped in rain at this point. Yeah, you can see that the tornado debris signature is still there. If you look above my head, this thing is still trying to pick up debris.
We have rotating rain curtains right in front of us.
So Chris Hall is talking about a storm to the south of this. Chris Hall's in Irwin, and he's kind of noticing the rotation over here near Kirkman that is picking up. I'm going to go back to our southwestern Iowa storms just really quick to look at what's going on here. Creston, you need to be in your safe spot still. The circulation has let up a little bit, but it's still a dangerous storm capable of producing a tornado at any moment. So get to shelter now.
New information. This tornado warning has been upgraded.
And there we go. I think that was actually, is that the one that was just upgraded there for Adair, Adams, and Union counties in Iowa? Let me read this. Yeah. Eastern Adair County. A confirmed tornado was located near over Creston, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. Emergency management confirmed a tornado at 7:03. Union County Emergency Management reported a tornado near Clover Avenue and Cromwell Road. So there we go. We've been once again talking about Creston for a while. Hopefully everybody in that town was aware of what's going on here. Through the power of word of mouth and sharing and all that stuff, hopefully the word got out there. And now we've got a tornado in Creston that could move on up north and east towards Macksburg in Iowa. Y'all need to take shelter. And then, this rotation down here near Kent is also continuing to be something that needs to be watched. I mean, that supercell is obviously coming together quite nicely there. Wow. Also, the rotation signature on the storm that Brad's on right now, the one that's coming back up towards Vail, Iowa, that has let up a little bit too. So hopefully that's a sign and that continues to happen. But we do still have a funnel from what I can tell looking at Brad's feed. If you're just now tuning in, this is a broad view of everything that's going on.
Just had a brief funnel here on our storm south of Irwin. I think it may be trying to get choked out by some storms to its south. So we're going to see what it'll do. We're going to get run over by the rest of them regardless. So
multiple tornado warnings in Iowa. Skip a little bit of space here in Missouri, and you find yourself in more tornadic storms in southern Missouri, south of, or I guess south central Missouri, north of Joplin, south of Kansas City. And then we've got a plethora of severe thunderstorm warnings right now in Texas and moving up into Arkansas, Little Rock. You guys are about to get a big storm, hail up to an inch in diameter, 60-mile-per-hour winds.
A
you
new
guys
tornado
a little bit farther to
has
the
been issued.
east of Dallas over here near Mount Pleasant. You guys are about to get inch in diameter hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds as well. And we just got a new tornado warning. 8 active tornado warnings at this moment. This newest one is going to be for the rotation that's happening down here in this storm. Okay, and it's moving up towards Avoca, Walnut, Corley, Elkhorn, Kimballton, all these places in Iowa. You need to take shelter immediately. There's so much to focus on here. It's nuts. Still continuing to watch closely the Creston storm. We had that tornado report near Creston. Now the storm's moving past Creston. Hopefully everybody in that town's okay, but Spalding, you're next, and Maxburg, we're watching you. Unfortunately now also Creston, you should be watching that circulation to your south near Kent. This also could be producing a tornado here soon as it comes up between Creston and Afton. This is in Iowa. And then we have this other circulation back here near Sharpsburg that probably will get a warning soon. This one might as well. Just a ton of rotating storms out there tonight. Brad Arnold is currently on 53 East, or S Avenue, moving west. Oh, he's turning around.
Hey, Ryan, we just got the tornado warning for the tail end, Charlie, so we're going to drop south. I like that one a lot more.
And what Chris just hollered over the radio there about the tail end, Charlie. What he's referring to here is just the end of this line. Okay, storm chasers sometimes refer to this as the tail end, Charlie, and sometimes those are the because there's not a lot of storms to the south of this that can interfere with any sort of ingredients that want to come up into the inflow of that storm. It sometimes can be a sign that this is a good storm to kind of target if you're trying to find the storm that's about to produce a tornado. But it's not guaranteed, and honestly, this storm, the velocity right now doesn't look that impressive, but we've seen things go from 0 to 60 fast here today on a lot of different storms, so we don't want to discount any of these tornado warnings at all. Huge shout out to all of the storm chasers today. That everybody's, this has been one of the craziest days ever as far as live video goes of the tornadoes. I can't think of anything even close. Storm chaser Caleb Beecham is currently in West Ride. And speaking of Storm Chaser Caleb Beecham, once again, I briefly want to mention, I just want to say thanks. Literally, before the event is over, even close to being over here, we've got now close to $40,000 for the Yaw Squad. We're going to, Caleb's going to be able to start literally tomorrow helping anybody that needs help with cleanup from these storms and supply drop-offs, whatever it is. We don't know exactly what it is. We'll be talking to emergency managers and stuff, but we're going to put that to good use. And we couldn't do that without you. And of course, you'll see what happens with that through our YouTube channel. We'll have a video coming out about what we do with this in the future here. So yeah, thank you for that. That's huge. That's a big deal. Go ahead, Andy.
Ryan, I just about bet that we'll see a tornado warning, a new one for Worth County, Missouri, right on the state line of northwest Missouri and southwest Iowa here. It's kind of its own tale in Charlie and our lead of our parade of supercells in southwest Iowa here. And it does have a very strong mesocyclone, both from the Kansas City radar and the Des Moines radar. Currently not tornado warned, but even from a distance of nearly 2 miles above the surface, we can see that it's got its own little hook appendage and a big rotating column of air, essentially. So another semi-classic look that we see here. I would expect a tornado warning with this sort of signature on radar. And I think that this could even produce a tornado. Given we're so far away from the radar, we can't see from either direction whether it is producing one or not right now. But I think pattern recognition-wise, I think this could also produce a tornado. Hunter Hurley, Storm Chaser Hunter Hurley is just southwest of that if he does have a feed.
Okay, thank you so much, Andy and Chandra. If you're listening in, let's try to get Hunter Hurley somewhere on our board so we can potentially see what's going on with this storm here as it approaches Arena, Athelstan, Reading, and Blockton on the border of Iowa and Missouri here. That's a dangerous looking storm, and y'all watch out. Not under a tornado warning or anything out here in front of this thing, but y'all watch out. It's probably coming soon, just based off of what we can see on the radar. I do want to come back up here to the storms near Creston and all these circulations up here. There's 3 of them that we're watching. South of Lenox, broad rotation could tighten up as it comes up towards Poland, Iowa. Really broad, but more intense rotation just past Kent, just to the south and east of Cromwell, moving towards the southeastern side of Creston. This needs to be watched very closely. Creston, you need to stay in your safe spot, even though this rotation just produced a tornado near Creston not too long ago. That's now going up towards Macksburg. All right. And then we're going to go back to the storm that Chris Hall is on right now. And he's going to see what's going on with this storm. Right now, the rotation doesn't look that crazy, but there's certainly some
a new tornado
hail
warning has been issued.
And my gosh, look at this. Storm Chaser Hunter Hurley down there on that storm in Nottoway County, Missouri, with a wonderful picture of that discrete supercell and the structure that comes along with that. This is definitely a well sculpted supercell, and you can tell that it's rotating, and you can tell that this is a kind of storm that wants to produce a tornado. Although it's not right now, we can tell that from seeing the clear base there. At least from what I can tell. I don't want to speak too soon. He might come over the radio here and start saying he sees something, but this is definitely a dangerous storm. It's rotating, and it's potentially going to produce a tornado somewhere over here between Athelstan and Grant City in Missouri. That newest warning that just came through includes Winterset, Iowa, Patterson, Macksburg, Earlham. All these places are now under a tornado warning as a really concerning area of rotation is coming up into areas just south and west of Des Moines. So these storms here are all ganging up on the greater Des Moines area. So if I'm in Des Moines, I'm making sure that I'm getting ready just in case there's a warning later this evening. It could happen. We've seen these things go for a long, long time, and these kind of just got started back here in southwest Iowa. So this is another good moment to kind of, if you know anybody in Des Moines, there's a lot of people that live in and around Des Moines. Let them know. This is, big storms are on the way. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey, Ryan, also paying attention to a QLCS regime in central Arkansas that's about to bring severe winds to Little Rock Metro through and through. Currently, best chance for spin-up tornadoes would be kind of focused on the northern half of this. You can see a little bit of that structure sort of bowing out and sort of bookending here, a little bit to the south of Conway along I-40 there. In central Arkansas. No spin-up tornadoes yet, nor anything that looks imminent, but I've got my eye on that as well. I mentioned it on stream while you were away getting a drink.
Okay. Thank you very much, meteorologist Andy Hill. Little Rock, severe thunderstorm warning, 1 inch in diameter hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds, tornadoes intermittently possible all the way up and down this line, especially on the northern side here. Watch out, okay? Villonia, Holland, Enola, Mount Vernon, Jacksonville, all these places, especially on the northern side of Little Rock. Big storm on the way. You got to make sure that you are paying attention to those warnings, because every single tornado warning today, no matter where it is, needs to be taken seriously today, including this one that just got issued for Winterset. Velocity continues to show an area of rotation here to the south of Zion, southwest of Macksburg. Rotation looks more intense with the area of circulation just to the south and west of that, though. This was a potentially developing tornado to the south and east of Creston. But both of these circulations, are generally moving in the direction of Winterset. So please take shelter now if you are out there in Winterset. What else we've got going on here? All of our storms in the original batch of storms that caused our big problems over here between Omaha, Bellevue, Neola, Underwood, all of that stuff, it's still warned. Okay, we've still got a bunch of tornado warnings on this, but all of the circulations are much less present and noticeable than what they were earlier. So this part of the storm, I think, is starting to die out. We'll see some of these tornado warnings actually expire.
A new tornado warning
However,
has been issued.
That doesn't mean that it's over. If we're in Carroll, Breda, Wall Lake, Lakeview, Lake City, and all these places, there's probably going to be other tornadoes that form within this, line. But the big supercellular event here with this segment of storms is mostly over. Unfortunately, it doesn't mean that we're done for the night, because that energy has kind of translated down here to the south and east. And now we've got another big outbreak of sort of discrete supercells to the south and west of Des Moines. And we just got a new tornado warning inside of that for Mount Ayr, Redding, Malloy, Benton, Kellerton, and Beaconsfield in Iowa. And the rotation with that is once again quite concerning, even though we're looking higher up in the air there. It's looking concerning, and this is the storm that Andy was talking about a moment ago, and it's also the storm that Hunter is currently driving towards. We can see the backside of it here. It's honestly beautiful, but it's pretty nasty actually underneath it there, where it's producing some large hail and damaging winds right now, and potentially a tornado very soon. So yeah, our next big batch of severe storms, potentially producing tornadoes, are moving into the Winterset Norwalk, Indianola, and Des Moines area. Real quick, I do want to mention today's not over, obviously. We're still right in the middle of this big tornado outbreak. But I do want to mention that we are going to be here tomorrow doing it all over again. Okay? Severe weather is possible tomorrow. Unfortunately, in a lot of similar places as we saw today. But maybe not so much in, there's still a part of Nebraska and Iowa that's included here, but I think a lot of what we'll be talking about will be in Oklahoma, Kansas, and honestly, yeah, some of the same places that we've been talking about today. So just know that we have another great severe weather threat tomorrow. It's the same level threat from the Storm Prediction Center as what we had today, but it encompasses more people. All right. It's an enhanced risk of severe weather driven by a 10% hatched risk of tornadoes. That includes Kansas City, Topeka, Wichita, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, maybe even Wichita Falls there. Big system. More severe weather on Sunday, not looking as intense as of right now. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey, Ryan, just talked to Hunter Hurley, who says he may be seeing a multi-vortex funnel cloud. I have been trying to see if this is a legit debris signature, but it's so far away from both radars that from the south I can't tell if it's just hail, and from the north I can't tell if it's non-uniform beam filling. So we're going completely off of Hunter Hurley's feed right now. Invaluable footage, but he has observed a ground scraping wall cloud, and I just about bet that there's some sort of tornado going on with this thing as it approaches Irina, Missouri, and Reading, Iowa, right on the state line there.
Okay, thank you, meteorologist Andy Hill. This is a live look at that storm from Hunter Hurley, who is one of the only storm chasers, I think, that's down here on this storm, giving us an incredible look at a developing tornadic supercell, and it's probably producing a tornado now as it's coming up towards Reading, Iowa. Some other places that this might impact, if this is going to follow the same pattern as some of our other supercells that we've seen today, and it goes a long time, it's probably going to go up towards Reading. All right, Delphos, Mount Ayr, Benton, maybe even as far north as Elston. So y'all get ready and take shelter if you haven't already. So we're going to wait for his feed to come back there and continue to monitor all of these storms as they continue to get stronger. Winterset, you're under a tornado warning. The rotation that's coming towards Winterset is, as of right now, looking a little bit less impressive than it was not too long ago whenever it produced the tornado report here. However, it's not gone. This area of rotation is a little bit more intense, though, and it's still coming up there towards you in the Winterset, Maxburg, East Peru. You guys have got to watch out for this, as it's likely producing a tornado or about to. Andy, go ahead.
Yeah, Ryan, it is producing a tornado. That previous velocity scan kind of had those two areas of interest, right? The southern part of that is the tornadic circulation. The northern part of that is the rest of the mesocyclone, and there is a debris signature there on correlation coefficient. If you'd like to take a look at it there. I expect a different warning, perhaps, and an upgraded confirmed warning. Tornado just west of Afton, Iowa, headed up towards Lorimer. Areas north of Lorimer, Iowa, along Highway 169.
Okay, thank you, Andy. There's your debris signature. This is our tornado right here. This one's big. This is another big tornado just to the east of Creston. It's producing damage, and it's getting ready to cross Highway 34. Then it's going to cross Lark Avenue, and then it's going to be coming up generally towards Maxburg. So there's a tornadic circulation that prompted a tornado warning earlier that's going across Maxburg right now. Thankfully, I think that tornado has lifted, but now we've got a much bigger storm producing maybe even a larger tornado moving up towards Maxburg again. So Maxburg, stay in your safe spot. And if you haven't got there already, then you need to. And then, unfortunately, there's another really impressive looking rotation signature behind that. This will also come up towards Creston generally at some point, and Kent. So get ready. We're having a train of tornadic circulations here in this Creston area. This is all eventually going to be pointed towards Winterset. And, you know, just the areas between East Peru, St. Charles, that whole area there. Let's pull up Hunter's feed. Oh, is that down? Go ahead, Andy.
Yes, Ryan.
Ryan, we are not done.
Hunter just confirmed that is down, so I told Chandra to refresh the feed. Hopefully it comes through. But he does have a multi-vortex tornado observed on the ground.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Andy. This is a live look here. It almost looks like it's paused, but it's moving. It's going there. This is a live look at the tornado now that is associated with our storm that's got the warning in extreme southern Iowa. So this is Redding. This is really close to Redding right now. And this tornado looks like it's a big one. It looks like it's about to be even bigger, and it's coming up towards Delphos. Redding in like a couple of minutes, if not right now. You guys have got to run to shelter. Delphos, you've got a little bit of time. Mount Air, probably the biggest population area in the warning box there. You've got maybe 10, 15 minutes to make your preparations and get to shelter. And I would suggest that you do that because this is a big supercell. Even from this distance, we're pretty far from the radar here. We can see the hook. Okay, and this is looking like the kind of storm that could go on for a long time here, and it might make it up there to Mount Air. So once again, if you're just now tuning in, this is another tornado that we're seeing live on the stream here. This one's from Hunter Hurley, who's currently in Missouri. Okay, he's about to cross the road and head up into Iowa, but he's currently in Missouri looking up towards Athelston and Blockton. Okay, and Redding. But yeah, there's a big tornado there. Get ready in Delphos and Benton as well. That's going to be a problem for quite some time. Let's go check back in on our circulations up here in, that we've got a tornado continuing down here to the north and west of Afton. I think that Brad Arnold is on this one. I do want to hear what he said. I think he paused earlier. 1 second.
Ryan, we are not done chasing. I think head east towards the Des Moines area.
Okay, yeah. So Brad's just kind of talking about how this is going to continue, and he's going to be chasing these storms as they go towards Des Moines. Brad's current location, he's way back here towards Coon Rapids, so he's going to try to, go east and get in front of these storms before they get to Des Moines. But as they make their journey, they're gonna cause a lot of problems in the meantime. This is a nasty looking supercell here north of Afton. This is definitely producing a big tornado right now. Maxburg, you guys have got to get to shelter. Man, this one's pretty wild too. I'm surprised we don't have a new warning for this one yet. Oops, sorry. I'm surprised we don't have. Yeah, what the heck? This is still a big tornado, lofting major debris into the air north of Afton. I would say that we'll get a new kind of like confirmed warning here that goes up towards Maxburg here soon. Maxburg takes shelter. Also, Kent and Creston, again, it's your turn to take shelter as well. These two circulations here are, in my opinion, the most concerning things that we have going on right now, even though we have a definite tornado on the ground down here between Reading and Watterson. Because at least we know that this one's down and we know that it's there, and we're spreading the word about that one. This one right here, this is probably an even bigger tornado. And from what I can tell, we need a new box for that. Okay, so Maxville needs to take shelter. We just got that upgraded warning there, so that's also going to be something that we need to watch out for. Give me just 1 second. I gotta do something on my end. Just 1 second. Okay, all right. Okay, if you're just now tuning in, I know we've got a bunch of people in here, and you're probably seeing this link all over the place. You don't know what's going on. I want to give everybody a real quick overview of the broad scope of what's going on, because we're about to dive really back close into the mesoscale on these storms, and I don't want anybody to think that we're ignoring a place or that this is only happening in this one little small area. I'm zooming out here to show you that we've got a bunch of severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings all up and down the Midwest, from Iowa down through Missouri, Kansas, Arkansas, into Texas. We've got a big severe thunderstorm warning there near Mount Pleasant. We've got some strong storms moving through Little Rock right now. Nothing tornadic going on with those at the moment. We've got a really strong storm south and east of Kansas City producing some quarter-size hail, and that's going to continue to move east.
New information.
And we've got a bunch of tornado warnings up here in Iowa near Manila. Manning, Ogden, these areas got hit by a tornado not too long ago. These circulations are dying out, and we really don't have much to worry about there, okay? So now our focus is going to be completely kind of locked in on this group of supercells that's closing in on Des Moines. All right, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 different areas of rotation and supercellular activity that could produce more big time tornadoes like we've seen earlier today. And I think actually a couple of them are currently producing that. So we're going to dive right into this right now. We've got a huge tornado near Reading. Moving up towards Delphos. This is a life-threatening situation. You've got to get to shelter. We did officially get that upgraded to an observed tornado warning. Mount Ayr and Elston, you guys also need to be rushing to your tornado shelter. Kent, you need to be there. This rotation, as of this moment, I don't think is actually producing a tornado, but it's probably going to very soon. Just like all of these other ones started off just like that, and then they ended up like this one north of Afton, which is also continuing to produce a tornado. The debris signature here is just unbelievable. This is certainly producing a big tornado as it comes up towards Maxburg. All right, notice the direction that this is going. This touched down just to the west of Afton, okay, and it's lofting debris into the air. You can see the big blue blob there. That's stuff in the sky that shouldn't be there. And then it's now kind of going up in this general direction, and that's going to take it right towards Maxburg. So take shelter in Maxburg and everywhere in between. 110th Street, 300th Street, Maxburg Road, East North Street. If you live along those roads south of Maxburg, north of Afton, you are in an extremely dangerous place. I've been sitting here looking at tornadoes all day, 6:30 p.m. Some of these tornadoes have been like some of the crazier ones I've ever seen. Here's another one coming right for you. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, Ryan, and I think the same sense of urgency is needed for Mount Ayr, Iowa. The tornado there is headed generally straight towards Mount Ayr, probably the southeastern part of the town, city there. I'm not sure how many people there are there, but that's worth the same amount of a mesoscale look, even a mesoscale look there at the roads. John White, again, Storm Chaser John White is right outside of it, as is Hunter Hurley. This tornado has debris visible at 13,000 feet above the ground, which is easily indicative of a significant tornado based on scientific methods of looking at debris height and rotation. So let's do that now.
Thank you so much, meteorologist Andy Hill. Chandra, if we've got John White somewhere, let's get him up on the board here. We've got another, at the same time as that other one's happening, we've got another tornado down here between Redding and Delphos in Iowa. This is producing probably an even larger tornado, and it's moving up towards Mount Ayr right now. Let me pull everything together here. Right now, the tornado is just to the south of Delphos, and the next places that we can expect this, the next big road that it's going to go across is essentially Highway 169, and that's going to probably cross there between County Road J43 and 169, where those intersect. If this comes into Mount Ayr, that's the direction that it would come in. If you know where 169 is, if you've ever traveled between Allendale and Mount Ayr, and you come back into Mount Ayr through Allendale, you come in through the bend in the road there on 169. If you look down that road, you probably would see a tornado. We are not suggesting that you do that. In fact, you probably couldn't see it because there's so much rain and hail here, but that's the direction that the tornado is coming into Mount Ayr, and it's close. Okay, it's down here just to the south of Delphos, closing in closely or quickly on that Highway 169 area. I'm also going to pull up some other monuments or landmarks in the area so to kind of give you a better idea of what I'm talking about. Sometimes these towns that get highlighted on the map here are smaller communities. Not everybody recognizes Delphos, but everybody, I'm sure, recognizes the Mount Ayr Wildlife Area, the big park there, the Denny Trucking Zone. Okay, that is where the tornado is going, essentially, from where it is right now. Beyond that, it's going to enter the Heinold Hog Market right on the highway there, on Highway 169, and it'll enter Mount Ayr. If it comes into town, it'll enter on the side where the Vetter Equipment Company is. Okay, Stewart Tire, Roberts Auto, Hilltop Veterinary Clinic. Imagine in your mind where all that stuff is. That's where the tornado is going to come into town if it makes it up there to Mount Ayr, and it looks like it's going to try to do that. This tornado is big enough to where it could be as big as the towns of Delphos and Benton there. So we really need to make sure that we are getting underground in Mount Ayr. If we can't get underground, you want to get into the most interior room of a sturdy building at the lowest floor with as many walls between you and the outside world as possible. No windows and as little glass as possible. All right? Cover your head. Wear a helmet. Grab the mattress off the bed if you need to. Bring me with you. Bring a charged phone, tablet. Put on a pair of boots, a pair of shoes you wouldn't care to walk in the rain or over some splintered wood in. And just stay with me, and we'll let you know when it's time to come out of that safe spot. This is looking like it's going to be a really unfortunate situation for the areas between Delphos, Waterston, and Mount Ayr in Iowa. Another unfortunate situation potentially unfolding with the circulation that is increasing in intensity here south of Creston, Iowa. Creston, you've been having tornadoes go around you for the last hour. You're probably tired of it, but it's time to get back into that safe spot. If you ever left it for whatever reason, this is probably about to produce another big tornado here as this storm comes to you there in Creston. Maxburg, your storm continues to look impressive on radar. However, this one, it does look like it's going to try to go just to the east of Maxburg. So hopefully you guys don't have to deal with that, but we still see a big debris signature here. Just as the west of Lorimore. Next in line for this tornado is going to be McPherson, Ord, Old Peru, and East Peru. All of this stuff, all of this energy, all of these storms are going in the general direction of Winterset, Murray, Osceola, New Virginia, some really populated areas of Des Moines, and it's also starting to get that time of day where we maybe see a little bit of, the sunset, right? So it's going to start getting dark soon, which makes this situation even more dangerous. Unbelievable
tonight.
amount of,
So what a night it's been down there in Union County, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we're still getting a lot of folks. Yeah, and we're still getting a lot of folks who are showing us some incredible video, even in the Shelby area. That's some of the video that we saw earlier. But we keep getting a lot of folks who are sending us new images and pictures, video of that area of western Iowa. And I know that we're going to find a lot more of those pictures, I'm afraid, from Creston, right back up to the Winters Set area, Lorimore, Maxburg. You need to make sure that you're seeking shelter. Highway 169, make sure that if you're driving there or you know someone that is, make sure that you're pulling over when you see these tornado warnings. And that's the best thing to do, is not to get under a bridge. That, again, is just going to increase the velocity of the wind, kind of like putting your thumb over an open garden hose, how the water increases. Well, when you're under a bridge, it will increase the wind and do more damage to your vehicle or to you. So get to the lowest level if you can find a secure place. A lot of places like Casey's or a Come and Go, or even some of the grocery stores who have these big refrigerated areas, that's a pretty safe place. If you can get in, they will take care of you. We've seen that happen over and over. I'm just right now looking up at our live view, and I'm looking at what's going on with Roger. We have Roger Riley out, and I'm not sure exactly where he is, but he's looking into the back side of this system. He went out early again, and again, that's where we're finding it. I'm sorry, couldn't hear our producer. Oh, Elias. I'm sorry, Elias. Yeah, Elias Johnson is going out. He's been out, and again, it started to chase this storm and watching it come toward Van Meter. So I couldn't tell which one of our live cameras that is, but that's where it's getting so dark, and this is live. He said earlier, where should we go? And I said, you don't have to go very far west. This thing is completely encompassing western Iowa and moving right toward us. So they went out. Look at that lightning. That's a concern, obviously, but tornado warnings moving to the west of where Elias is. He's near Van Meter, but look how that line continues to just build. And boy, some of the worst is down to the south and to the western corner of the state.
Ed, we have a new tornado warning now for Adair, Clark, Madison, and Union.
Do you have that one, Jerry?
Yes, I do. It just came up, but I mean, there's so many tornado warnings all coming in at the same time. So if I could just break it down for you, we're going to click on each one here on Max 2 so I can walk you through the different tornado warnings in effect. And again, with each one that I'm talking through, these are the areas where we're getting confirmed tornadoes, many reports of tornadoes on the ground, and we're continuing to get reports out of Union County of nonstop tornadoes on the ground. If I had lived in Union County, I would be in the basement right now. That is the best place to be. All right, let's go through these tornado warnings, and let's start with this one in Ringgold County first. And again, that's in effect until 8 p.m. at this point. And at around 7:34, there was a confirmed tornado, as we talked you through, near the Reading area, and that is moving northeast at a speed of around 40 miles per hour. And let's take you up here with that Creston tornado, because we're continuing to hear reports of it touching down near the hospital, touching down near the airport as well. That tornado warning is in effect until 8:30. That includes Adair, Clark, Madison, and Union County. And our last update with that tornado warning was at 7:43, just a few minutes ago. And again, that's in effect until 8:30, but near Creston, moving off to the northeast at a speed of around 35 miles per hour. And that is now moving into Madison County as well, getting closer to the Winterset area. And with each one of these tornado warnings, it is textbook material for showing radar indicated tornadoes, as well as we're continuing to see what we would look for to show it radar indicated, but we're also getting reports that it's actually touching the ground. This is the last tornado warning in effect, and this is for Adair, Madison, and Union County, and that's in effect until 8 p.m. as well. But each of these are highlighted in purple, giving you an indication that these are confirmed tornadoes. This is just not tornado warnings indicated by radar. They're actually on the ground and causing damage. And this storm is moving off to the northeast at a speed of around 30 miles per hour. Now we're getting lots of reports around Reading. Are you seeing all this stuff coming in right now?
Creston as well. As you mentioned, that Union County area just getting hit so hard, but some of the damage to retirement center there. Also some that we've not seen pictures of, but we've heard from viewers that there was maybe some damage to rooftops at the hospital. So all within that same line, moving straight to the north and to the east up near St. Charles. And this gives you an idea of how serious this situation is. Gabe Pro, one of our meteorologists, lives in an area without, again, a basement, but he's coming in, as we all do, to come in and help each other, but he feels safer with a place where he can get to the basement. That's part of the reason that we're on the air. We want to make sure, we don't take it for granted either. We want to make sure that you stay safe. This is
Hey, Ed, I wanted to mention, I'm sorry to interrupt you there,
okay.
that cell down by Mount Air, not only are we looking at circulation down here, but I was just looking at radar. You can see behind it down here, this spike heading down toward Reading. There's probably also some big hail in that storm.
Yeah. And Mount Air, you need to be seeking shelter right now. That's right on your doorstep. It's moving right toward you, and that is going to cause some damage. As we said, large hail possible out of these systems, where we see that intense lift giving us baseball-sized hail. It takes a lot to keep that hailstone aloft for that period of time, but that just indicates what kind of severe weather we're dealing with. So Mount Air, you're getting that signature right over your town right now as we speak. You should have been in your shelter here within the last few minutes as we were talking about it, but right across Highway 169 toward Grand River, Kellerton, you should also be seeking shelter. Stay in the basement, stay away from windows, and that is moving to the north and east at around 39 miles per hour. Elston will be seeing this storm by 8:08, 8:14 for Grand River. All of that moving northeast out of this one cell, but as we've showed you throughout the day and throughout the evening, this is a long, long line of severe thunderstorms that have turned into tornadoes, have rebuilt into more tornadoes. So just the pulsing of this system is pretty impressive, to say the least, not in a good way, obviously. Creston, Lorimor, Winterset, that again is an observed tornado on the ground from the Creston area. We had that from folks in the newsroom, Erin Kiernan passing that along to us tonight, and you can see that some of her friends in the Creston area did say there was some damage there, so we'll check on that. St. Charles, you need to be seeking shelter straight south of the Des Moines Metro is what we're talking about in that particular vicinity. And then Greenfield, during the severe thunderstorm warning, we're watching this base level though, that spin right there, and then back up around Highway 169. I would estimate that there could be some of that twist within that particular cell.
Yeah, I want to take a closer look at that, what's going on in Madison County for sure. And obviously this is all, I want to let folks know there are severe thunderstorm warnings out there, especially in the line behind this main line we've been dealing with, and we want you to take those seriously as well. But for obvious reasons, we have so many tornadic circulations out there tonight, we need to focus on that threat before we focus on the thunderstorm threat.
Well, and that, yeah, this is the main objective for us tonight. That's why we're on the air, is to make sure that you're staying safe and in your safe place when we have these tornado warnings. This is a long period of time. Again, can't stress enough, we don't want to hear our own voices. We're not that impressed with ourselves, but we want to make sure that you stay weather aware as this system moves in. Jerry Ann.
All right, we have Elias Johnson, who's out in the elements right now. We're told he's near DeSoto, but he talked with folks around Creston. This looks like some blinding rain, Elias. Are you sure you're in a safe spot there?
Yeah, we're safe. I feel safe with photographer Chris Parsons here. We just hit an absolute wall of water as we headed west out of the metro, and now there's this kind of ominous clearing you can see out in the distance now. But it went from, you could see darkness to green, and now we're getting through some rain as we head west out of DeSoto, and you can see some clearing out in the distance here. I have been in contact with some law enforcement folks who have been tracking where emergency assets have been dispatched throughout the state here right now. Union County has a ton of emergency response right now. As far as Creston goes, it sounds like major damage to buildings on the west side of that town by the hospital area. Walmart, I was told, they've been responding to. So right now, it's a major response as far as where all of these emergency and first responders have been heading to make sure, number one, if anybody's been injured in any of these storms, and then also to make sure people are staying out of areas where it's been unsafe. We're not sure if power lines have been toppled. That's always a concern when these storms roll through, and we do have those types of situations. But now the rain's starting to let up. We're seeing a little bit of a break here, still a lot of lightning in the area, and it's just, you definitely don't feel like this is, I've seen so many cars, with flashers on now, just trying to make it to wherever they're going, but very active out here. And it's been amazing to see the changes with the colors in the sky as we've been out here within the last 45 minutes or so into this area that you folks are talking a lot about right now.
Elias, thank you for that helpful information. But again, we do want you to stay smart and safe, and he is traveling off to the south right now, and that's where we're continuing to see more redevelopment of storms. A new tornado watch has been issued. Now, this does include the city of Des Moines. It has been expanded to include a good part of central Iowa here. I know there's a lot of colors on this map, but the yellow is indicating that tornado watch that remains in effect until midnight. And again, all the tornado warnings right now are just to the south and east, or southwest Iowa, excuse me, and that's near Creston as well as the Winterset area. We also have one other tornado warning in Ringgold County at this point, and these storms continue to move off to the east, northeast, but still showing rotation on radar at this point. And I do want to put into motion the radar picture just so you can see exactly what's going on here, because these storms are finally moving off to the east and advancing and moving out of some of these areas hit so hard. We saw Harlan hit 2 or 3 times by a very strong storm system. Still strong storm around Carroll, getting closer to Fort Dodge as well. I really don't think Ames is going to see the strongest storms here, as you are much cooler and things are calming down as we're getting closer here to sunset. But we are watching this storm complex right around Madison County, and we're getting another report of a tornado east of Afton. So let's go to that one if we can.
And that's an area that we've been watching throughout the afternoon, just like, are you kidding me? And one more that is just popping up in that same spot. That's why we're still here and keeping your storm TV coverage going. We have meteorologist Gabe Pro just walking in as well. So this is going to be a very busy next couple of hours. We have Grand River. You need to be seeking shelter right now from Highway 169, this same area where we have 1, 2, 3 tornado warnings where they are observed. Those tornadoes are on the ground. That's that outline in that pink is just flashing there for you. That's for Adair, Madison, and Union counties, that tornado warning until 8 o'clock. The direction of that storm follows the polygon, so it starts a little bit thinner here and then gets wider. That's the direction that we expect, kind of a fanning effect, but keeping in mind that this can take a turn, but we want to make sure that everyone south of Winterset on Highway 169, you need to be seeking shelter out of that particular cell. You can see that twist on that. We do have that inflow, outflow, but also showing off a pretty decent hook echo on the radar, which indicates, again, possibly a tornado, but this one is confirmed. It's not radar indicated. 39 mile per hour is the speed of this storm, moving toward Old Piru and then back up towards St. Charles, St. Mary's, those 2 towns right there, very close to one another. Want to make sure that you're seeking shelter right now, getting in the basement and away from as many walls, or put as many walls between you and the outdoors as possible, but also away from windows. That's where we get the debris thrown into the windows. It can cause a lot of damage and harm. Creston, you guys are still underneath this system, and look at that right there. That's where Jason is pushing in with our velocity scope, and you can see that's that turn right there. At the green to the red is the flow of the wind. As we see those two, it's called gate-to-gate shear, where we have red and creeping right up to the green or staying right on it. That is a classic tornado signature for sure.
Also getting reports, are you guys seeing this stuff out of Madison County right now? Some reports of a church there reporting some rotation, and that would be in Winterset.
We continue to get that information coming in, and again, we've seen some pictures. Our photo link is there at WHO13.com. Go to the weather page. You can upload your pictures, and we'd like to see, again, you staying safe. Do not take the time to go outside and take a picture when we have tornado warnings right at your doorstep. But here's the warned areas here from just around Creston, the Afton area, right up toward the Winterset area moving in that direction. Farther to the south, Mount Air just picking up a massive storm across your doorstep there. I am concerned that there may have been that tornado moving almost right across your small town there. We love that town. Very good people there as well, but that kind of hook echo also is signifying that we still have a lot going on within that particular storm. Could even see some hail aloft or high velocity winds that peak up at the top of that particular radar return. It is farther away from the radar, back down into southern Iowa, so this radar is above the ground quite a ways. But Beaconsville, Grand River, and Hopeville, from now until 8:25, all of you folks need to be seeking shelter. Even though you're outside in Grand River, outside of that tornado warning, we've seen this tornado line just completely rebirth itself as we go through one tornado after another. It's a rejuvenation of these tornadoes, and that's where we're really concerned for folks that may think, hey, it's all over with, right? Well, it completely has shown us over and over tonight that these cells redevelop another tornado right behind it. And there's also a lot of training of these storms, so a lot of rainfall coming down at the same time. Some of these storms could become rain-wrapped, where we have storm spotters. I'm seeing fewer of those storm spotters kind of putting out their information tonight, so maybe they're even thinking about, hey, this may not be so safe. But from Des Moines now, we're getting right up to that western edge of the state of Des Moines in the center of the state. I want to make sure that everybody's staying safe, though, within the tornado warnings. Look how close it is to Des Moines, just right up to Madison County, right into Warren, almost Warren County here from Indianola, or it is Warren County, and then right up to southwestern sections of the metro.
Union County Emergency Manager reporting a tornado crossing 170th and Palomino. 170th and Palomino is where they're reporting that tornado right now. So this is the area of rotation right up here northwest of Afton that they're talking about. And again, this would be northeast at 40-ish on the movement. So
we keep repeating many of the same towns' names. You know, Creston,
right.
Afton, Lorimore. You need the Orient-Maxburg area too. Just seeing a lot of this severe weather tonight, the tornado warnings, but also the damage that has been done, especially western Iowa. Shelby, I keep seeing more and more pictures and video now coming in as people probably feel it's safe to send it, but there was a lot of damage there in the western section of our state. And then from Arispe, you're just outside of that, but St. Charles to Winterset, this storm continues to move to the northeast, and it's getting very close to the Des Moines metro. So this tornado warning that's all in red, that means it's radar indicated. That's what our radar is showing here. But we also had many of these storms that have been spotted, and these storm spotters have watched these storms stay on the ground for a very long period of time. And that's where we find the most concerning situation tonight. We want to make sure that everybody is staying safe. We're still here at 8 o'clock, WHO 13 in Des Moines, Iowa. Meteorologist Ed Wilson, along with Gabe Pro. We have Jason Parkin, who's here, and of course, Jerry Ann Ritter, who's been here since before our noon show today. She's still here, taking, again, care of us, making sure that we stay updated with you as we go through this late evening hour for many of us. We're getting into that weekend time as well. Also, of course, don't forget about the Drake relays. I would imagine they're still under some delays. They thought maybe they would go until 9 o'clock as they had tonight because they had delays earlier, but make sure that you're staying safe for sure. I'll get out of the way of this new tornado warning until 8:30 for Adair, Clark, Madison, and Union counties. An inch in diameter hail there as well. As we continue our live coverage, Winterset, there's and also you go down to Mount Air, Jason. I see what you're doing there. That's where we're finding those decent signatures and moving toward Grand River. I know there's some folks in Mount Air that may have some damage possibly there as well. We'll see if that tornado held together, but it moved right across the city of Mount Air. That signature line really concerning me as we go through the evening. I want to make sure you guys are safe.
All right, we just have one confirmed tornado still on the ground, and of course that's in Union County, but again, we are seeing some very strong rotation with these storms. Let's show Max 2 if we can. We are getting reports of a few farmsteads south and east of the Creston area that have been damaged as well. We haven't come upon any major injuries. That is some very good news. We're also still getting reports of rotation around the Afton area, and that was about 5 minutes ago. And again, Union County continues to be a big concern, as well as Madison County, as this tornado warning continues to cause problems. Now, things are starting to calm down a bit in northwest Iowa. Again, we still have some strong to severe thunderstorms moving through these communities, but at this point, we're not seeing anything strengthening. So that is really good news for the short period of time we have here. Jason, do you have something?
We actually have a picture here on Max 1 from
we did.
Shauna Phelps. Okay. It's still up there.
There we go.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is the tornado near Creston, where we've had to repeat your town's name over and over. I'm so sorry for that. We love Creston, but not when it's tornadoes like this that are just outside of that area, kind of in a rural spot. But we've had a lot of damage reports from western Iowa. I've seen a lot of the pictures and video, and we'll be going back and doing stories on your towns for quite a while, as we've seen such severe weather coming out of Nebraska today. Omaha, Lincoln hit so hard, but now we're on the receiving line of this, and thankfully these tornadoes not looking the same dynamic scale that we saw earlier. We were talking EF4, EF5 earlier today. We'll see as the National Weather Service steps out and gets the surveys going tomorrow just how strong these were. But hopefully everybody's safe and sound, but I think we can be thankful that it wasn't the same type of tornadic outbreak that we found on I-80 out in Nebraska.
Boy, big hook on radar here south of Winterset.
Oh yeah. Zoom into that. That is a classic looking hook right there where we see and this again is very close to, getting closer to our metro and closer to our radar, but that is showing a classic hook, and you can see again some pretty decent signature around this guy as it continues to move northeast. South of Winterset, you need to be seeking shelter. Winterset as well. Make sure that you're doing that. The Patterson, Bevington, Martinsdale area coming right through 832, coming just on the southwestern corner of West Des Moines, past the airport, down along I-35. So anybody traveling across I-35, they're running into that. We showed you earlier Elias Johnson's view from their live camera. It is just almost a blackout now with the dark conditions of night, but also that heavy rain. It's just hard to see what's going on. We have this confirmed tornado outline north of Afton and just now outside of Creston, right along Highway 34. But we see this decent signature, a couple of them maybe around
a couple
Afton,
of them there, yeah.
but right here as well, just to the west of Lorimore. We're picking up these twists that are being indicated on our radar, that inflow, outflow of the wind that's spinning around these tornadoes. So we haven't seen a lot of great signature here of what's called the debris ball. In particular, we saw a couple of them, but just recently. Now we don't see that type of indication where it's picked up debris from hitting buildings or picking up dirt. Anything that has a solid structure to it, the radar really picks up. It can see all of that, and it really lights it up for sure. Tornado warning now in effect until 8:30 for Adair, Clark, Madison, Union. Inch in diameter hail is also a part of this scenario. The largest hail size that I've seen, an 1.75 inches in western Iowa, a part of that same area, I think up near Shelby. But also now we're getting some indication here. I wouldn't be shocked maybe if we have some hail aloft within that system just in the northwest corner of that warning.
Yeah, and speaking of hail, boy, does it look like it down here to the west of Grand River and southeast of Tingley. When we look for something on radar called a hail spike, where actually the radar beam hits the hail, hits the ground, hits the hail again, and goes back to the radar, and so it paints this false area down this blue area you see to the south of Elston, south of the purple down there. And when we see that, we know that we've probably got some pretty good sized hail there, and this storm has continued to show that signature here. But let me get a bead on where the rotation is, and then put a storm track on this for you here. Looks like southeast of Elston. And again, this is so far away from the radar, it's tough to see exactly where this might be on the ground. The radar beam here is probably 6,000 to 7,000 feet up, but I think somewhere in this area. And let's see who's in the path here. Grand River about 811, or rather 817. Beaconsfield about 811. So
they just updated that warning as well, just kind of shrunk it down a little bit.
Okay.
Pushing it farther to the north and the east.
Okay.
But yeah, please seek shelter. Don't think that this is over with, guys. We're still looking at what has been such a busy night that even though normally this time of the evening we see that cooling effect, we usually see these tornado warnings fall apart and get into some colder air. But we're still holding on to a lot of moisture here, but also the dynamics where we have the wind speeds down at the base level at a pretty decent clip. We were going up to 38, 40 miles per hour, and then aloft as well, where we're seeing these stronger winds, which have started to die down maybe at about 2,000 to 3,000 feet. We've seen a little less of that high-end wind, but boy, that signature of a hook right there, and when you saw that velocity scope put in there, where it's going between the reds and the greens, boy, that is a perfect indicator. It's kind of a classic, almost textbook view of what a tornado looks like when you're studying it. Patterson, Bevington, Martinsdale, Cumming. You need to be seeking shelter now as the system continues to pull out this tornado, moving straight to the north and the east. And we do have that expansion, of course, of our tornado watch that has been expanded farther to the east. So we're all watching this system as it gets closer and closer to Des Moines. Again, we've been on the air since just after 6 o'clock tonight, making sure that you stay safe. But as long as there's tornado warnings, we stay right here. Our storm team coverage will continue even as we go through the late evening hours. I think by 10 o'clock, we may see a fewer of these severe thunderstorms or the tornado warnings, but it's still going to be a lot of information that's coming our way out of all of these storms. East Piru and to Winterset, 829 to 833, so just south of Des Moines, straight south almost to the airport. That's an area that we do want to make sure you stay safe, even though it's outside of this particular highlighted cone or polygon. There is a tornado warning ahead of that, and that, of course, when we have that pink level, that means that they're still seeing a tornado on the ground. Well, that has lasted for a long time tonight. Clark, Decatur, Ringgold, and Union counties. Look at the hail size on this, 3-inch diameter hail.
I believe it, the way that signature has been.
The way that hail signature showed off with such a high, intense, I've not seen one like that for a while, and nor have I seen 3-inch diameter hail in Iowa for a while. But northwest of Grand River, that's where that hail dump is happening, and it is moving straight to the north and to the west, or off to the north and west.
Getting reports out of Union County that troopers are reporting that poles have been snapped, and that was near 12 Mile Lake Road and Highway 34. So that is in southern Iowa. And as you can see, these communities still remain under tornado warnings. The areas shaded in red. I do want you to be in your basement if you're around Osceola or St. Charles. Thankfully, the greatest threat, if we could go in closer around the Creston community, it does look like the strongest storms are finally starting to move out of the Creston community. But if you're just starting to experience one of these strong to severe thunderstorms like around the Winterset area, just know that these storms have been back building. So Afton area, Laura Moore, right around Highway 169, looks like a distinct rotation right there.
It is so broad and so bright right there as well, as you said, west of Lorimore. This storm line has been really fascinating at one point because we see these rebuild. It's not a typical scenario for tornadoes in Iowa, but tonight we are going outside of the box for what we usually expect, although this is our severe weather season, so we are trying to be prepared for anything. But the 3 tornado warnings there down to the south that extend into that severe thunderstorm warning from Creston back down to the south and west, all a part of the same system. And as you mentioned, Jerry, and the back building, meaning that we have storms that are building on the backside of this system as it moves through and are still creating some severe thunderstorm warnings. So even though you had a tornado warning, now we have these storms that are creating, again, some large hail and damaging wind. There was that it's pretty good-looking area, that definition of some hail just to the northwest of Lorimore. And notice how all of these tornado warnings now tracking. We have a new tornado warning that's in effect for the just near St. Charles and moving up toward that area that's just highlighted for the moment. That's for Clark County. And we're also seeing Madison and Union counties underneath that. If we, there you go, just put the clear button.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay.
And Jason will take that for us. And then down to the south, we do have these, again, tornado warnings down for Osceola, back down to the Iowa-Missouri border. These lines of storms that have just created a lot of tornadic activity tonight just continue to put a spell on us. There we go. Gabe Pro here as well. We have Jerry Ann on the pedestal here at
pedestal.
That's what I call it.
Okay.
Whenever you're on it. But this is where we again are seeing that severe weather storm team coverage for you this evening. We are going to continue as we go through this evening's hours, and we thank you for putting up with us. I'm just watching our camera out in Waukee just getting dumped on right now. We are seeing just an amazing amounts of rain coming in on the west side of this of the metro, and we'll still see these storms moving our way as we go through the rest of this evening. That's that warning that you're looking at right now from Lorimor back up into the area just where St. Charles begins here. That's just straight south of our Des Moines International Airport, and that's where we have these tornado warnings that are lining up right to the doorstep of Polk County. So Madison and Warren counties, that's that new warning until 8:45. We'll continue to see this polygon or the push of these storms moving straight to the north and the east. These are all radar indicated, but 3/4 inch diameter hail. We also had a 3-inch diameter hail signature coming back from radar, again, down to the south. So this is going to be an extraordinary event. When we put together all of the storm reports that are going to be layered on top of one another tonight, as we go through our 10 o'clock news, it will be something we'll be talking about for a long time. That tornado warning for Adair, Clark, Madison, Union counties in effect till 8:30, and that's where also just in that area outside of Creston. Now, thankfully for you folks moving to the north, but Lorimor, you need to be seeking shelter. Anybody between Creston back up toward Winterset, you need to be seeking shelter right now. And there's that 3-inch diameter hail. That's down in that Clark, Decatur, Ringgold, Union County, southern Iowa. You get just hammered. And look at that again, the signature where we have those purples. We get again pretty amazed at that kind of signature that comes back. Again, it's quite a ways away from our radar, but the hail trails that we see here, the hail track is coming back, and that is where it probably had the core dump, where it just storm couldn't hold that hail any longer, and it all dumps at once, kind of in a big core.
By looking at the radar, my strongest storm that I'm seeing right now is this one right around the Grand River area. And that's where it's still indicating some hook returns. But we are getting reports out of Madison County that the circulation is starting to weaken. So that is really great news. Now, yes, right.
Yeah.
It's starting to form more into a line. So I want your attention to go here to this storm just to the west of Van Wert. And that's where we're seeing rotation. Oh, I'm on max 2. I'm sorry, but Jason's explaining it to you right there. But you see Osceola, Van Wert. There is a severe thunderstorm just to the west of Van Wert that would be capable of producing a tornado, okay? But then notice how we're now south of Des Moines, right around Winterset. Lorimor still looks pretty strong around Lorimor, but it's starting to line out just a little bit more. And that's good news that we're not seeing the circulation. That said, this is still providing heavy rainfall as well as some very strong winds associated with it. Let's go in and just check some of the wind gusts so far. I bet we've got some good 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts as well. So, I mean, I don't want you to let your guard down, but thankfully we're not seeing those long-lived tornadoes continue to strengthen. This is the strongest radar return I'm seeing, and that's just to the west of Van Wert and getting closer to Osceola. That is a community where I would be seeking shelter. And again, that's right along I-35, and that's located just to the south of the city of Des Moines. Around the city of Des Moines at this point, we're seeing rain at the west Mixmaster, rain around Waukee, with all of the tornado warnings located just to the south and west of the metro area, with that strongest storm headed right for Osceola.
We're seeing that on our WHO 13 sky cams as well. You can see all that at WHO13.com. You can watch us as we're here doing live streaming as we go through severe weather. And this is, again, just a time for us to make sure that you're staying safe, you're staying in your place of shelter, especially when you're in these red polygons that are all still lighting up much of that area along I-35 south of Des Moines, back over to Creston, right through the same area. And when you start to see kind of a corkscrew move within this system, as we put in a little bit of a loop here for you, that's where we start to see some of that heavy-duty rain moving in. Now, we're just on the start of what is going to be a pretty busy weekend. I think it's going to dry out Saturday morning, but then Saturday night into Sunday, we're going to see a lot of extra rainfall. Strong to severe thunderstorms still possible, certainly over southern Iowa tomorrow night, right in this same spot. We want to make sure you're weather aware. And then on Sunday, not as much of the severe weather, but a lot of rain. So we could be talking about flooding, which is pretty extraordinary when we've had 4 years of drought. And we've seen better conditions on our drought monitors here, but this is going to be that kind of system. I'm just looking off to do a live shot here from Elias Johnson in the car that he's in, and this is some amazing heavy-duty rain that's coming in as they're coming, I think, closer to the Des Moines area from Van Meter, Boonville. They're in Boonville right now, and you can see they can barely see the lights ahead of them. Look at all that lightning just streaking across this system as it moves in. And definitely hard to see. Elias, it feels like you're just seeing the very front end of the car.
That's right, Ed. We are east now, Boonville. We're actually coming up and going to connect with Grand Avenue in a minute. We're going to make our way to I-35 so we can head south towards Osceola. The big thing that we've been dealing with is the pooling of water on the road, both on the interstate when we're on I-80 and then also on these roads here with so much rain coming down. And we're just seeing a ton of lightning. This isn't to the ground lightning, but so much lightning up in the sky, just lighting up everywhere we're going. And you know, obviously the sun is setting now, so it's just dark. It's not completely the storm front we're seeing, but lots of lightning. We haven't seen any hail yet, so that's good news for those of you in the metro, because this system is passing over us to the north and east as we are southwest directly of the Des Moines metro. But there is a ton of water and lightning. We're not seeing a whole lot of wind at this point, which is also good news. We were worried, I know earlier, about straight line winds. We're not seeing a lot of that, but it's certainly you got to be on your toes at this point, and if you don't have to be out here, don't be out here. We're monitoring everything. We're listening to you. We're positioning ourselves in places that are not in a direct line of any of the severe weather, and it sounds like things are starting to weaken just a little bit, but tons of rain coming down and lightning, and we're going to make our way down south on I-35. Our goal tonight is to get over to Creston to assess some of the damage reports that we're hearing from law enforcement, give you some of those visuals, and just make sure everybody is safe and wasn't hurt in this storm event tonight.
Thank you, Elias. Make sure you stay safe. We are looking at tornadoes that are showing up very well on our radar. This is near the Patterson area, that tornado warning that we'll talk about. But take a look. This is our Osceola camera. Of course, it's getting toward the very, very twilight of the evening. But that massive storm is moving right across Westlake into Osceola, which is straight south of Des Moines on I-35. That system is going to move through, and you're going to find a lot of dynamics within these storms: hail, lightning, wind, tornadoes, and then we're going to see, again, just a lot of rain coming our way over the next couple of days. Near the Patterson area, Jerry Ann just pointing out this tornado warning that is still in effect there. We're getting some great, a little bit of that green and red, the inflow, outflow, the gate-to-gate shear. That's when we have a tornado indicated, but also just a crazy amount of hooking on that particular tornado as it moved across Highway 92 just to the east of Patterson. Of course, Patterson, you need to be in your shelter. We've been talking about your area throughout the evening. We want to make sure that you stay safe, but that rotation is pretty dramatic. We've had, again, radar indicated tornadoes, and once we get so dark in this time of the evening, when the light is just not available, these radar indicated tornadoes will take over, because either the tornado is rain wrapped or we just can't see that tornado. And you're hearing all of our phones go off because we do have a tornado warning now right into our metro. So for the Prohl area, back over to Cumming, into West Des Moines, this is on into our area now of the metro. You want to make sure that you are seeking shelter right now. Prohl, Cumming, Norwalk, West Des Moines. Talking about people out, of course, at the Drake relays tonight. If they're still going on, there may have been so lightning that they postponed it for this evening. But this is another tornado warning moving right across our metro here in Des Moines. So we've been covering everything happening to the west of the central Iowa area. Now it's on our doorstep as well. That tornado warning in effect until 8:45 for Dallas, Madison, Polk, and Warren counties. 3/4 inch diameter hail is certainly possible, but it's coming off of that same area just north of Martinsdale, where we've been watching the tornadoes throughout the night tonight. And then, of course, a lot of hail moving our way right across Highway 6. That's Hickman back up near Waukee, and then into the West Des Moines area coming. We just that's just about the area where Elias was earlier, just a few minutes ago, driving south. And there's that tornado spin here just west of I-35, just to the west, actually down around the Cumming area, Norwalk, back up toward the west side of southwest Des Moines. You want to make sure that you're really staying weather alert. Get to the safest place in your house or the building you're in. The Commerce area at 8:31, West Des Moines, 8:36. These are all the ETAs of this tornado. 8:43 for Des Moines, and then Saylor Township area at 8:49. It's going to move right across the I-80, I-35 corridor, the crosshairs here. So a lot of folks in this area, again, dealing with a Friday night, getting out, maybe getting, again, in on the Drake relays, but make sure that you stay safe. And just heard from our producer, Paul Liepert, that the Drake Stadium was evacuated. We did stories earlier today about what does that mean? How do they entail that? The Drake folks, they're not really immune to any type of severe weather. We've seen all of it, it feels like, here over the Drake Relays, but they have evacuated the Drake Relays Stadium, the Blue Oval, tonight. Here's that storm that we have down right at Patterson, just to the northeast of you.
Kind of broader rotation there, Ed, but it is there.
Yeah, it is kind of, you're right, kind of falling out a little bit. Maybe some of that hail, again, coming down just to the north of Patterson, that may be falling out of that storm as it kind of pulls out. Jerry Ann?
Oh, no, I was just trying to get my computer to post this. I'm sorry. So I was making motions.
Well,
Could
we
you
can
please?
take
we wave it.
But I do have a track on Max 2 here right now. And again, we're talking around the Patterson Cumming area. I just want to give folks in Des Moines a heads up. This storm could continue to hold together, and it had a history of large hail as well as tornadoes. And this does include the Des Moines metro area at 8:40. So that would be in about the next 20 minutes, making its way into the capital city. So it's a good idea right now, and you can see the color of that tornado warning changed as it is a confirmed tornado as well. And it is.
Grab the, on Max 1 or grab the debris. You can see a debris ball on that.
Oh, yeah.
Switch over to Max
Sure
1
enough.
real quick, guys, back in the control room. That's that bright spot that we've been talking about. And when we see a debris ball, that means that it's probably hit some structure that is either, again, pulling that debris up off the ground, but it does give us that indication that there is definitely some debris floating around within that tornado, as it has done some damage there. So
You can almost make out a little hook right here to the west of Cumming, kind of to the west side of that line. And that appears to be where the tornado is. I'll put the storm track at the tip of it. It'd be right here. Yeah, and again, with the debris ball, obviously we have a confirmed tornado headed right into the metro, so folks need to be in shelter for sure.
yeah, wherever you live on the south side, and we have the thunder and lightning hitting right outside of our studio here. And by the way, if you wondered, when we have tornado warnings here, we do have safe places in the basement to stay. We make sure that we keep our folks safe. This building happens to be all cement. That's a good thing, where we can stay away from the big windows on one side of it, but it is a safe place. Here's that tornado warning, and again, when it's highlighted in that pink, that means that it is confirmed. It's the storm spotters have seen that. We saw the debris ball coming off of that bottom of that tornado as it continues to move to the north and the east. We've had 3-inch diameter hail showing off earlier tonight down in southern Iowa, so this is just a dramatic area here where we've seen just some extraordinary severe weather events tonight that are going to take a long time to clean up. It's going to be a long time before you forget about this evening if you live in any one of those areas. So West Des Moines, back up into the Urbandale, Clive, West Des Moines area, downtown Des Moines, all the way back up into the Saylorville Township. You guys need to be seeking shelter. Here's that bright debris ball, which is, again, our radar picks up anything that's solid and really starts to illuminate it from our radar. So it gets up to very high DBZ levels of return. And when we see that, we know that there's something more than just rain. And when it's just isolated like that, usually more than just hail, but again, a tornado that has been confirmed, that's what you go to when you see that signature on the radar. This system still is moving north and east. These storms, the whole system is moving to the east and it's kind of lengthening out, as Jerry Ann mentioned earlier. When we start to see that, usually that means that we're going to calm things down just a little bit. But we now have this tornado warning for Ankeny, Pleasant Hill, Des Moines, West Des Moines, and Commerce. So 8:30 through 8:54. If you live in these areas, make sure that you seek shelter. I'm watching our Iowa's Weather Channel off to the corner as well, and it's showing off, again, our coverage for you. Just a reminder that you can find that information and live streaming at WHO13.com.
Yeah, I don't know if my mic is up.
There you go, Gabe. Gabe's mic.
Just pinpointing this area where the tornado is being picked up by radar. If Jason wants to zoom in tight with the debris there. Sure it's right north of Veterans Parkway. This is approaching Grand Avenue, the intersection of 60th Street and Mills Civic. So this is West Des Moines we're talking about, where this confirmed tornado is headed toward. Radar is picking up debris being lofted by the tornado. Once again, you see the intersection there of 50th and Mills Civic. The tornado looks like has just crossed Veterans Parkway, just east of Grand Prairie Parkway there in the West Des Moines area. So this is going to be headed off toward Ashworth Road. They're really kind of the Jordan Creek area as well.
It's just to the west of I-35, so you're right into the Jordan Creek area. You're looking at it coming out of the northern portion of Norwalk, moving right along that I-35 corridor. A lot of folks right there. You need to be seeking shelter. Make sure you're in your safe space right now. Especially, we put out the warnings, but we want you to take them seriously. It's been a long evening, and you may think, hey, we've got to be out of it by now. Do they know what they're talking about? Because Des Moines, we haven't had anything here yet, but we are very serious about this. We want to make sure that you're staying safe. Get to your safe place. Make sure that you're in the basement, away from any type of windows. As I said, if you're traveling, often you can go to a Casey's or a Come and Go, any convenience store who have these big freezers or big refrigerated areas. It acts as a great place to be when you're in a tornado and traveling. But that debris ball,
there are these myths about
huge.
Metro areas and being safe from tornadoes, and or this myth that we're safe here in Des Moines because two rivers meet here, and that none of those are true. And here we're seeing it playing out, unfortunately, as this comes into the southwestern part of the metro. I will widen the view out here and again give folks a look at this morning. And obviously we don't want to forget about the folks in southern Iowa as well, but this is a highly populated area we're moving into. So again, 8:45 is the tornado warning for Dallas, Madison, Polk, and Warren. And obviously we're going to keep an eye on this and obviously not forget about the folks down south as well.
Right, we're just kind of really focused right now on this particular spot that is a confirmed tornado. It's right over the largest population of the state. We have another confirmed tornado still holding on from Creston back down to the southwest of Lorimor. That confirmed tornado line has stayed there throughout the last, it feels like, an hour, as we've been watching that continually build in. From Lorimor down to Osceola, please seek shelter. You guys need to be very careful along that area right around Highway 34. We were watching the hook that is still forming there. We watched that just within the last couple of minutes from our Osceola camera at Westlake. Please make sure that you're seeking shelter. This one moving to the north and the east. And it'll be at Leslie at 8:35, Osceola at 8:43, Woodburn at 8:52, and in Liberty at 8:58. A lot of tornado warning boxes here, just kind of lining up in this cluster between Osceola, Lorimor, Winterset, all the way back up to Indianola, and of course this bright area here. This is from just southwest of the airport, moving across I-35, coming. You need to be in your safe space right now, along with northwest Norwalk, southwest West Des Moines, back into the downtown area, right over downtown. You need to be seeking shelter. You're all within that tornado warning, and there's that bright spot right west of I-35. And again, this is that area right along Highway 5, of course, the airport just straight over to the east of there. And this debris ball is still holding on. We're still watching this as it's hit some structure, we believe, and is still probably not picking up dirt at this point. That's a very, very bright line there, and we'll see if we do have some reports, possibly, sadly, of some damage here out of this system as it moves into the metro. We're getting a very, very distinct signature right there as we see just down. There it is, right in the center, right about where that debris ball is going on, and that's where we have that rotation that is showing that tornado is still very strong, still moving to the north and to the east. This is going to be, again, not trying to play on drama, just want to make sure that you're aware and you're prepared, but make sure that you're in the lowest level of the building you're in. Bicycle helmets certainly help. Make sure that your feet are covered, that you wear proper shoes, because if you have to get out, God forbid that your house might be damaged, you don't want to walk with your bare feet across a bunch of wood or spikes that are left out there, I should say nails. From the Raccoon River Drive, and there's 360th Street, and there's the Veterans Parkway. I love that area there. You need to be seeking shelter right now. EP True Parkway, moving across I-35 into Fuller Road. We do have, again, just a lot of homes there, but also a lot of restaurants, businesses right in the mall area. We want to make sure that you guys are seeking shelter right now. This is a new sweep of that as we go through, and our radar is just going to continue to show off that isolated cell that right there has that debris ball moving right across I-35. So there's certainly some debris that's going to be left out in the fields and areas, maybe even yards, as we go through tonight, but that is showing off just a spectacular return on that particular warning.
I took the radar off of my computer here on Max 2 just so you can see if you are in this tornado warning right now. And again, as Ed keeps describing it, it's in West Des Moines right now, tracking off to the east, northeast. But Urbandale, Johnston, Grimes, the city of Des Moines, Pleasant Hill, all of these communities remain under this tornado warning for about the next 15 minutes. So the best thing you can do right now is go seek shelter in the basement. This is located near the West Mixmaster. It's really in between the West and the East Mixmaster. It's just south of the city of Des Moines at this point, located in West Des Moines. So we do want everyone in the basement. You can always stream us on your phone and just turn the volume up. That's the best thing to do. You can also turn up the volume on your television, but we do want you to seek shelter if you are in this red box. These are the areas of concern right now. I'm going to move it around just a little bit just so you can see. Waukee is not in this tornado warning, but again, we'll be watching for Ankeny as the storm continues to pretty much track off to the east-northeast.
Jerry, I want to take a minute just to say, as this system is now coming into the Des Moines Metro, again, we're moving into an area with a lot of apartment buildings, that kind of thing. Again, I'll use myself as an example where I don't have a basement. I don't really have necessarily an interior room where I live. So I said, I'm coming into work because I feel safer there. So if you're in an apartment building and you can get to a lower floor, we want you to do that if you possibly can. Otherwise, again, as Jerry Ann's showing you here, most interior room, as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you can get underground, that's the best place to be, as this really is going to be tracking through the West Des Moines area, eventually head up toward Urbandale, Johnston, those locations, and eventually down the line closer to Ankeny.
Gabe is on one of our computers right now, which we can't just put on the air, but it's showing almost 2 debris ball signatures off of that system that is just southwest of Des Moines. So that's what we're really preparing for, is a very large tornadic activity that's moving through. Right now you're looking at Osceola, so this is that area that we were watching earlier, and that definitely has that signature of that tornadic activity with that, again, the counterclockwise roll here with that inflow to outflow between the reds and the greens right across I-35. Now let's go up just a little bit and show that area that we were focusing in, again, right into that southwestern corner of West Des Moines. Let's zoom way in and see if we can see that signature that we were showed, that I was watching on Gabe's computer. We'll see if we can show off that signature, but it looks like almost 2 different debris balls here that have kind of split up now. But when he was really zoomed in, we were showing that right around again, just the Prairie Creek area just southwest of West Des Moines, back into Clive, Urbandale, you need to be seeking shelter right now, guys. We're going to watch this thing move right into central portions of the metro. It is still an observed tornado that is on the ground, and we have some amazing signatures to, again, reinforce what our spotters are showing us right across I-35. This is going to be a dangerous situation if you're caught in this. And as we mentioned earlier, Gabe, we were talking about you when you weren't even here. We were talking about you on the air, coming in, getting out of that apartment again to make sure that you stay safe. Of course, it's hard to sleep when you're a meteorologist and you're seeing this kind of stuff. You almost have to be there. But look at that split right now between here down to here. That, again, just saying that there's a lot of signature coming off of this that is indicating that there are more elements than maybe just debris ball going on here, but it's getting very close to the radar as well. So it gives us a good indication. Look at that hook right there, right around I-35, straight down to Highway 5, the bypass down south of the airport. You need to be, can't stress it enough, seeking shelter as this thing continues to move back up to the northeast. And as I said, with that highlight, with the pink around that outline of this tornado warning, that means that there is a tornado. It's been observed by spotters that are trained, and we still have a lot of the evening to go through. Some of this could be rain wrapped as well. There's a lot of rain coming down, and I'm looking out and about. There's a lot going on. We have a couple of live shots that I'm watching as well, but I can see the lightning off of our live view from our cars. Lots of rain, almost hard to see, but also it looks like there may be some damage that we'll be talking about with our news crews a little bit later. Yeah, Jerry Ann.
Yeah, I did want to go back to the tornado warning still in effect for Clark County as well, because we are seeing some rotation around there. And this would be in Osceola, and we do have a camera located there at the hotel and casino. I don't know if a few folks back there can just check out our cameras. I know it's dark and it's going to be difficult to see, but just be mindful that we do have a tornadic system located right along I-35. And again, this is right around the Osceola area. All of these communities remain under the tornado warning, and that is in effect here for about the next 20 minutes as well.
Just watching again this cell that's closer to Des Moines, as we need to keep track of everybody here. Make sure that you're staying up to date. But Clark County, again, make sure that you're seeking shelter. We're just watching that debris ball that we were mentioning earlier. It looked like it just exploded, kind of fell apart, which is good news. It does mean that we've lost part of that signature, but this is still an outline that we want to make sure that we really focus on with the highest population of the state of Iowa here, right over Des Moines. We want to make sure that everybody's staying safe as it's moving to the northeast, right across I-235. We care for everyone's home, property, and of course, safety and health. We want to make sure that you're okay with this as the system moves through. But as we're focusing right now from Aurelia back up through Des Moines, West Des Moines, you're going to find that right into the downtown area by 851, Saylor Township at 858, Ankeny, the eastern edge of Ankeny, and Bondurant at 903 to 907. So right along that area up to Bondurant, the diagonal highway that goes all the way up to Marshalltown, that's going to be an area. If you have folks that are driving there, you want to make sure that you're staying safe. We're going to go to Elias again. Elias Johnson is out in one of our storm cars right in West Des Moines, and this is what it looks like now. If we can see what it looks like. My goodness, Elias, that is some intense stuff you're dealing with. What's going on?
Ed, in the last 5 minutes, we're seeing hail. We're seeing just conditions you can't even see anymore. Cars have been pulling off. We are just off of Highway 5 at Southeast 35th Street on the overpass, and the winds have picked up. We're getting pelted with hail right now. The winds have been continuing to shift in all different directions, and just not ideal. Tons of rain coming down with this system, and this is the worst it's been so far since we've been out. And so we pulled off, and the hail is really what's really picked up now as the system is coming in. And again, we're just east of I-35, off of Highway 5. We're looking to the southwest right now, and there are still some vehicles trying to make their way on Highway 5, but as far as being in the thick of the storm right now, I feel like we're in it right now. And hopefully most of these cars will just pull off. The hail feels like it's getting bigger. You can definitely hear it in the car as it just hits the sides and the tops, and Yeah, it's bad out here right now. This is definitely the thick of it as it heads into the metro, Ed.
Safe, but also thank you, Elias, for staying safe, but also keeping us up to date on what's going on. We're going to take you back to the radar right now. And this is a great reminder. We have a brand new tornado warning actually just to the southeast side of the tornado warning that we have out into Des Moines. But there's a Zach Bryant concert going on down at the Well tonight. There's a lot of people in downtown Des Moines because of Drake relays, people that aren't used to our city. We want to make sure that everybody stays safe. Make sure that you are staying in your safe place right now. And it may mean that some of those folks may have to wait out this storm with Luke Bryant's music. Maybe he's loud enough that you won't even hear it as it goes over. But hopefully everybody is staying safe. And they do have a protocol there as well to make sure that they keep their patrons safe. Dallas, Madison, Warren, and Polk counties underneath this tornado warning until 8:45. The outline there just showing off that polygon. And on the right-hand side of your screen, you're looking at our downtown camera. This is from Principal Park. You can see that lightning taking over our sky here. Also some heavy, heavy downpour. And as we mentioned, there's a lot of hail. Our downtown camera. This is from Principal Park. You can see that lightning taking over our sky here. Also some heavy, heavy downpour. And as we mentioned, there's a lot of hail system, along with that system right across I-35. So we want to make sure that you stay safe. If you're out
and it is rotating a little bit, so we'll see what happens with it as it approaches Tingley and Elston. The tornado warning that encompassed Des Moines is now expired. There's no tornado warning for Des Moines, and I think that this big warning right here is also going to be allowed to expire soon. Actually, yeah, in 1 minute it's going to be allowed to expire. I think we're just going to be left with a warning for these circulations and this one in just a few moments. And we're seeing a lot of lightning from our storms, from storm chaser Brad Arnold and Hunter Hurley there. Brad Arnold specifically is in Des Moines right now. He's trying to get in front of these storms. We currently have 5 tornado warnings total. Once again, for anybody that didn't hear earlier, a lot of the media from some of the big tornadoes that we saw earlier today is it's all over Twitter, all over X. Storm chasers out there have gotten some incredible stuff, and I've shared the vast majority of that I've found over on Twitter. My handle's @Ryan Hall, y'all. It's also going to be the best way to keep up with us as we go into tomorrow. We're probably going to have a lot of updates for you about the Y'all Squad and our plans for when we're going to go live tomorrow. So when I'm not live on YouTube, that's the best place to hear from me, over there at Ryan Hall Y'all on X. Elijah has some news for us. Go ahead, Elijah.
Hey, Ryan. So there have been a lot of tornadoes today. So the Storm Prediction Center has 87 tornado reports. That does not translate to 87 tornadoes. A large chunk of those came from the two very long track tornadoes. If I had to ballpark, we probably maybe hit 20 to 30 today, or more with brief spin ups as damage surveys come out. However, we actually already have a public information statement from the National Weather Service in Dallas-Fort Worth. And tomorrow, they're going to be surveying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 areas of damage that occurred in their jurisdiction. We covered them briefly at the very beginning of the stream before Nebraska and Iowa really kicked off. This is also a really kind of odd day. So on the unfiltered Storm Prediction Center reports, we have almost hit the same number of tornado reports as wind and hail reports combined today.
Hey, Ryan,
which I've not seen that personally really happen, where we have as many tornadoes reported as wind and hail reports combined. But we've not had a ton of hail reports that are significant. There's been 71 hail reports throughout the entire U.S., all the way from South Dakota stretching down to Texas, but only 4 of those were marked as 2 inches or greater. Some of the damage reports we have include the Omaha airport, which took a direct hit from the tornado earlier. This was the second tornado emergency we had today. The airport is closed because some of the hangars were completely destroyed. So several aircraft were also destroyed in that, but no passengers were injured, or no, people at the airport were injured as far as we're aware. There are 0 fatalities reported still. There are several injuries from various towns, and then there's just a ton of damage everywhere. Over on the Discord server, I will be keeping a true tally of like all the damage surveys that come out and everything like that. So you can follow us there to see all the aftermath. It'll take several days for all this to come out. Some of those long track tornadoes may take up to maybe even a week for the survey to come out, just because of how long track and how much they have to survey.
Yes. Thank you so much, Elijah. A lot of work ahead of the National Weather Service. And just to mention,
a new tornado
tomorrow,
warning has been issued.
There's probably going to be even a lot of work tornadoes ahead of survey from a lot of the same. And just to mention,
a new tornado warning
has
been issued
today. So we just got a new tornado warning here. This also includes Des Moines. There is definitely some convergence, some signature here that could indicate that there's a tornado.
Ryan, we just got a tornado warning issued for our area. We're dropping down south right now towards the Knoxville and Pleasantville, Iowa area. That's more of a QLCS style tornado. At this point, I think the tornadoes are like finding me, but it's getting kind of weird. They're just following me around today. But that's going to be nearly impossible to see. We're not going to spend much time on that at all. I will take a look at it when we're getting closer to the west. But it's, like I said, it's on that leading edge of that QLCS, the squall line. So.
Okay, that's Brad Arnold telling us about the fact that he's in this tornado warning here. Well, that last scan, there's something there. Once again, as Brad Arnold said, this is more of a QLCS kind of tornado. If you really look at it, it does look like there could be a little bit of an embedded supercellular attribute to it, but it's mostly driven by the wind shear and everything out here. There's not a lot of convective energy out here, but look at that. We've got a hook. We've got inflow able to come into the storm. Some rotation here south and east of Des Moines now, potentially producing a tornado near Red or River Woods and south central DSM, moving up towards Chesterfield, Laurel Hill, and Pleasant Hill. Take shelter if you're in Des Moines, all the way up to Altoona and Bondurant and Mingo. You guys should take shelter immediately. We are down to 3 tornado warnings. We still have got the one for Liberty and Milo and Indianola. That looks like it's falling apart a little bit, though, thankfully. And then Murray, there's a pretty decent area of rotation approaching you two. You guys should stay in your safe spot. So yeah, let's hope that these warnings are allowed to expire soon. But right now, it looks like things are falling apart. And then boom. Here's another jump scare tornado for you down here in southeastern Des Moines. Not convinced, not 100% sure that this is actually producing a tornado, but it's certainly something to take seriously if you're a resident out here. So yeah, tornado warning in Des Moines once again. I want to. I just looked over. I saw this. I have to shout it out. That's crazy. Thank you to Lady Trucker for the incredibly generous $300 super chat. It says, as a trucker, your content keeps many of us out of harm's way. Come on, ever donate just $1. These funds help so much. Yeah, Lady Trucker, first of all, thank you so much for that. And once again, I do want to show you the number here. We're about to hit $80,000 raised over on theyallsquad.org. Every single penny of that is going to go to our disaster relief efforts, to the people out here in Iowa and Nebraska and all these places that have been hit today. So if you want to help us, I think we could probably hit $100,000 raised tonight. As little as $1 it can go a long way. It's a tax deductible official 501c3 donation that you can make over there on the y'allsquad.org. That last scale, yeah. Oh my gosh, guys! I think we've got a tornado here. On the southeast side of Des Moines. This is
Ryan, I hate to say this, but
yeah.
Southeast of Des Moines, likely tornado on the ground.
Yeah, I think so.
Right in the city.
This looks like a very quick tornado has spun up here between River Woods and Vandalia Road, and now it's coming up into Carbondale. Holy smokes, y'all. This kind of just popped up out of nowhere, too. Look at this. Nothing, and then boom, here we go. Velocity couplet. Whenever you hear us talk about velocity couplet, this is what we're talking about. We've got the reds and greens really close to each other there, indicating that we've got wind blowing towards the radar and away from the radar, really close to each other. And whenever those colors get brighter, that means that the wind's blowing fast.
We just have power flash southeast side of Des Moines.
Brad Arnold is now.
We're not going to be able to see it. That's the only way we got eyes on it. The power flash is southeast side of Des Moines. Tornado on the ground.
Tornado on the ground. Brad Arnold is right here. He's looking this way. Let's please get Brad Arnold in the one spot as quickly as possible. Brad Arnold is looking towards the tornado down here south of Chesterfield, and it does look like there is a little bit of a debris signature trying to pop up there. Go ahead, Andy.
I agree, Ryan, and I don't think this will be as short-lived as we want it to. Unfortunately, right as it heads into Pleasant Hill, the second tilt of velocity shows that huge pocket of outflow, those outbound velocities, are feeding right into the tornado that ramped up at the same time. So I see both sides of the circulation having a healthy feeder bands of air, essentially, that is moving really quickly, accelerating into the center. So I actually do think that this tornado has the potential to become stronger for a brief moment, given what we see on either side of it being fed into it. So unfortunately, hopefully Pleasant Hill, Altoona, you guys take shelter here, and this dynamically driven tornado once again is in an area of stable air, but enough air is forcing it through that stable layer to produce a tornado like this. So yeah, hopefully we don't see too much damage from that, but I do think it will live a little bit longer than expected.
Okay, thank you very much. Guys, that's meteorologist Andy Hill. Looks like this is something that we might have to deal with longer than just a couple of frames. So Pleasant Hill and Carbondale, you guys need to be getting to your safe spot if you haven't gotten there already. This looks like it could be a tornado here as it goes up towards Highway 65 and eventually where Highway 65 and 163 intersect near Pleasant Hill. Let's, oops, turn that off. Sorry. Let's go ahead and come back over to reflectivity. Another thing that's really telling of what's going on here is this hook that's kind of coming up out of the line here. That's another sign that we've got certainly a tornado here moving up into Pleasant Hill right now. And then we've got a little bit more of a significant look to our debris signature as well. So,
Brian, we do have a CC drop now. Very, very strong rotation southeast of Des Moines, up there just south of Highway 163.
Wow. So that next scan that's just come in is quite concerning, to say the least. Yeah, this could be a significant tornado maybe trying to take place here right around Pleasant Hill. This is in an incredibly populated area. Tornado is now coming into the Pleasant Hill, Carbondale area on the eastern side of Des Moines. Please take shelter. And if you know anybody over here, you got to let them know that the tornado sirens have been blaring on and off in this area. People might have seen a storm go by. They thought they're done for the day. Now it's dark. You can't see the tornado coming. And we've got this monster lurking in the shadows here that nobody really knows about unless they are paying attention to something like this. All right. So you can help them out. If you know somebody out there, please let them know what's going on. Now
this
we've got ourselves a
warning
PDS tornado warning. PDS tornado warning means that a large tornado, damaging tornado, is on the ground right now, and this is in the eastern side of Des Moines near Pleasant Hill. Let's go a little bit deeper in than that. Pleasant Hill, Iowa. 1 second. So the tornado currently, based on everything that I can see here, the tornado currently is near Dones Park, all right? And it's probably currently in that area where you can exit off of Highway 65 and either go to Pleasant Hill or Rising Sun. If you're familiar with the area, this is where the Come and Go gas station is and the Sleep In and Suites. Okay, if you're ever going north up into, just past Pleasant Hill on Highway 65 there, that's where the Sleep In is and the Come and Go. Tornado is going to continue, likely, to go generally to the north and east past Highway 163 over there towards Deary Brothers Chevrolet. Okay, and then it's going to continue to go over there towards Rising Sun Cemetery, New Life Church, okay, and also a place called A Plus Plumbing. So if you are familiar with anything that I'm listing off here, that's around where we think the tornado is right now, and it's doing big time damage. All right, it is doing damage, and it's doesn't look like it's going to go away anytime soon here. That's a strong velocity signature that we still see on that most recent scan. Reflectivity also showing a debris ball now on radar. So we've got debris kind of showing up here on reflectivity, which is a sign of a strong tornado, unfortunately. Deary Brothers Chevrolet, that's about where the tornado is right now. If it continues on the same path, some other places that need to be getting a shelter fast are places like if you're around Clay Elementary School. Okay, it's going to be coming into the Clay Elementary School fast. Out the Altoona soccer fields. Okay, if you know where the big Altoona soccer fields are, up there near the Spring Creek Sports Complex, that's generally the area where this is going as well. Beyond that, we're worried about Tuscany, Mud Creek, Jeffy Pop, and the End Crest at the Tuscany, that area up there, and of course the Terrace Hill Golf Course. So draw a line in your mind from the Clay Elementary School up past the soccer fields all the way to the Terrace Hills Golf Course. If this continues in the way that it's going, that's the way that it will go across the greater Altoona area, just to the east of town there. There also might be a little bit more of an easterly component to it if this line kind of tries to push it out a little bit. So basically everybody from all the places that I just listed off and farther east towards Ivy and Prairie Belle and Mitchellville need to be getting deep underground right now. It's, a basement. Do it whatever you can to protect yourself, because this is a dangerous storm that is capable of potentially destroying a house, if not just causing a significant damage to it. CC, just waiting on the next scan here to see if we've got anything else
in town that aren't normally here in town. We have a lot going on with the Drake relays, concerts, things like that. It's a weekend. People come to Des Moines so much to see great stuff, but this isn't what you probably signed up for tonight.
Power flashes are being reported around the Pleasant Hill area as well. That is an indication of some very strong winds, unfortunately, probably taking down some power lines. Again, that is tracking off to the east. Mitchellville, you'll continue to be under the target of this very strong storm that is capable of producing a tornado. And again, right now, the strongest part of the storm is located around Highway 163, Highway 65, and it looks like it's starting to move out of the Pleasant Hill area, thankfully.
Yeah, and we are here keeping you updated. We have 4 of our meteorologists right here tonight. We also have meteorologist Megan Selwa, again showing off again what has been going on with her social media. You can follow all of us, and when we're busy like this, it's hard for us sometimes inside of this situation to keep you updated on social media. So follow all of our meteorologists, Jerry Ann Ritter, Megan Selwa, Jason Parkin, and of course Gabe Pro. We will be here to make sure that you stay updated, even when we can't on the air. Our other meteorologists are covering our backs. So
it's going to be going up towards Pine Hollow Stables and it's the Stillwater Arena, which looks like a small, area near a campground up there near the Upstream Gardens. So right now it's in probably the most populated and densely kind of structurally built up place that's going to be for quite some time.
South of Indianola. We're about to intercept it in about 10 minutes or so. Rotation really ramping up in that. Would not be surprised to see that get confirmed here pretty soon. May even be confirmed by us if we're lucky.
Brad Arnold is calling to us from Highway 5 going down towards Pleasantville, talking about the storm south of Indianola. Rotation with this one actually is, it's kind of increasing as well. So unfortunately, we'll probably see a new warning for that one here very soon. What a crazy day. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop.
Some reports on social media. Are we not in the tornado warning any longer? I want to explain who is still in that tornado warning. Again, we keep talking about the tornado, extremely dangerous around the Pleasant Hill area, and that's where we're hearing reports of power outages. Again, Altoona, you're still in the tornado warning, as well as Mitchellville, the Colfax community, Prairie City. Now, the city of Des Moines itself is no longer in the tornado warning. Areas to the west, no longer in the tornado warning. You're clear. Now, take you to the south here. This is the other tornado warning in effect that we talked you through, just south of New Virginia, right around the Indianola area. Again, parts of Highway 65. And these communities still remain under a tornado warning. Those are areas we want you in shelter. Also, right around Murray, that's where we're continuing to see that tornado warning, and that's along Highway 34. So those are the 3 tornado warnings in effect. Again, the strongest part of the storm is south and east of Des Moines at this point, tracking off to the east, northeast. Newton is in the target to experience these storms here within the next half hour to hour. We have been anticipating the last hour. Hopefully they would weaken. We are seeing some weakening overall, but unfortunately they're still capable of producing a tornado.
Just got word from my friend Mark Saylor talking about Union County. Highway 34 is closed now between Afton and Creston, and there is an ambulance command center at the Walmart parking lot, which is a phrase you never want to hear. But Highway 34 is closed now between Afton and Creston for folks down there.
Well, we kept repeating Afton and Creston over and over with this tornado line that's down in the southern portion of the state. We're kind of focused right now on this area just right outside of the Des Moines metro, or Des Moines downtown, but from Altoona to Mitchellville, you guys need to be seeking shelter as well. That is a very tight area between the red and the green. That's what we would look for inflow and outflow around the radar. When the radar does a really great job. Look how fast that new run just came through here, moving it farther toward Mitchellville. So
there's still a good circulation there.
Please seek shelter right now. Anyone from Altoona along I-80, lots of hotels there, Prairie Meadows, Adventureland, and then right back up to Mitchellville. Please seek shelter. We're pleading with you to make sure that you stay safe. This is not the time to be driving either. We showed you with Elias's view that getting back into safety is what we want them to do. Even our storm chasers like Roger Riley want to make sure that they're staying safe. Yeah, that does look like maybe another debris ball there that shows off some debris that's being pulled in by this tornado that may have hit a building. We're not sure. We can't obviously tell until we have storm spotters out there and law enforcement telling us what they're watching, and even first responders trying to keep them safe to get in and out of here. But northeast 80th Street and the corner of northeast 46th Street as we just move southeast of the Des Moines downtown. So this would be south of Altoona, right along Highway 163, which heads off down toward Pella. But Pella, you're not within this warning. It just kind of showing off, making sure the people here in the metro know. And boy, that is still a decent signature around that northeast 46th Avenue. Moving right up to the I-80 corridor, right toward Mitchellville. Make sure that you are seeking shelter right now. People driving in that area, hopefully have the alarms set on their phones with the 13 Warn Me app or whatever.
Change anything, okay? It's going to come for you, and we need you to take shelter immediately if you haven't gotten there already. Rotation with the more southern storm is letting up a little bit, so hopefully that continues, and my goodness, I really hope that continues. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, Ryan, just flick through each tilt of the velocity scan and watch how it takes about 30 seconds for the radar to change a tilt and then start scanning around, change a tilt, start scanning around. Watch how that convergence shifts over to rotation just over that 2-minute period. That's how rapidly these things wrap up, and just in between scans of the lowest levels that we can see, you can just watch it with height just start to curve. So I do think that's exactly what we're seeing here, and the next new velocity scan at the lowest level will reflect that accordingly, unfortunately.
Wow. Unbelievable stuff there. And just another way to visualize how rapidly these storms are turning. What I'm doing when I press the button here is we're looking farther up into the storm. The velocity tilts show us the radar scans like this, and then it scans like this, a little bit up and up and up, and we see higher and higher into the storm, and you can see the difference there with each level. And that is, this is continuing to be a concerning signature for Mitchellville, Valeria, and Mingo. And of course, we don't have that original correlation coefficient drop anymore, that the debris signature right here, but I do think a new tornado is trying to form here just to the north of that, to the west of Mitchellville. Let's hope that it's short-lived. Let's hope that it's short-lived. That's all I can say right now. If not, Mitchellville, Valeria, Mingo, y'all need to stay sheltered here. Still, I mean, honestly, the rotation here down with our storm that's coming up into Pleasantville is not nothing. Okay, there's a much bigger and more broad area of rotation. It's not quite as convergent, I guess, as the more northern storm that we're tracking, but this will probably warrant another tornado warning as this exits the tornado polygon here. So Hartford, Swan, Pleasantville, y'all watch out. We're watching that storm very, very closely. More storms forming behind these. These are not really rotating that much.
Along Highway 65, that's where we're finding that same cell that's maybe breaking up a little bit, but that is a tornado warning as well from that spot just across Highway 65 and back up toward Indianola, Sandyville. You folks need to be just south of Pleasantville looking for this storm to continue to move to the north and the east. These systems are not weak. They are holding together.
This one, well, there's still rotation there. It almost looks more like convergence down here now. But yeah, I mean, definitely you want to still stay in shelter down here in this southern warning. I'll put a little info on here for you for those of you who maybe haven't heard it yet. But Lucas, Marion, Warren, that's in effect for 19 more minutes here, 9:30, that warning to the south.
Do you see what's happening to the west? We need to take Max 2 here just a second because we are seeing some more thunderstorms redevelop around the Creston community. There's just one band in between Fort Dodge and right around Creston. Now, the one around Creston is below severe weather criteria. But again, we just pointed out that severe thunderstorm warning close to the Fort Dodge community. Again, the tornado warnings are just to the east of Des Moines. But we are actually seeing some back building of some more rainfall and some more thunderstorms on these areas that have already been hit extremely hard tonight.
We did hear about some damage in Creston. Again, no injuries reported out of that particular area, but I do believe that Elias Johnson and his storm chaser is going down there to check on that tonight late to see how those folks are doing. But yeah, when you have this kind of damage and you have now heavy rain and lightning, it can be very dangerous as well. Into our double box, we have the radar showing off that storm line as we get throughout central Iowa, but also I believe that that's Elias. I'm not sure if that's his storm car that we're watching. Yeah, so Elias is still moving along and looks much better than what it was earlier when you were around coming, Elias. How's it looking now and where are you?
Yeah, Ed, we are just heading north on 65. We're going to hit east on I-80. Power's still on here in Altoona, which is good news. We did come across some debris along the road headed north of University and Vandalia Road. So not a ton of debris, but there was definitely some chunks of things that normally don't sit in the road. But right now, as we're coming up around the Adventureland area, we can see the Bass Pro Shop. Everything looks good so far. We haven't seen any emergency vehicles with their lights on. We did see a couple of county sheriff's deputies pulled off, staging, and now the rain has stopped. Which this has been the norm tonight. You're either getting pounded with rain, hail, and wind, or there's nothing. And we're going to come up right now onto I-80 East, and you can see off in the distance, you're going to start seeing more lightning as we come up. And that is the cell that just went over Pleasant Hill and went over the Altoona area. But we're not seeing anything that is indicating that something massive came through here or damaging, at least from what we can see. I don't want to diminish anything that may have happened to some folks if they were hit with some winds and possibly a touchdown. But right now the good news is there's not a lot of people out here, and other than just a few pieces of little debris along 65, as I said, it looks okay right now.
Well, and it's good to see the power is on as we're driving, Elias. We can see the lights along the interstate there are still on, and that's a very good indicator as well. When we get these major storms that give a power surge and can wipe out transformers, people may be without power for a while. We heard about 6,000 people in the Council Bluffs area were without power earlier. So now, here are our new warnings, or the warnings that are still in effect from Mitchellville.
That's a new one down here.
That's the newest one from Jasper to Marion and Warren counties until 10 o'clock tonight. And this one is, again, moving farther to the northeast, but we're moving it right across Lake Red Rock, north of Knoxville, west of Pella, staying away from you guys, but make sure that you stay with this storm, okay? Stay weather aware. I know it's kind of a term that we use a lot of, but we don't want to have you take it for granted, because these storms can redevelop. And this is a perfect scenario tonight that will teach all of us that, you know what, these can redevelop and become strong to severe thunderstorms and then tornadoes as well. The outline here from Altoona back over to Highway 163 toward Prairie City, that is still highlighted as an observed tornado. It's in that pink outline. The all strong red boxes there, those are tornado warnings, primarily radar indicated. But let me tell you that at night it's so hard to see these tornadoes, rain wrapped as well. Just very dangerous to be out storm spotting with this kind of situation. But again, our law enforcement, first responders are out there helping. And that's an amazing signature there, guys.
It's still there.
Yeah.
Milo, yeah.
Sort of debating whether there's debris signature there or not still. There very well may be. Gabe and I were just talking, and we'll have to talk with the Weather Service after this, because the velocity and the debris have been kind of offset from each other. And sometimes they'll change the way they scan storms during severe weather, and one scan may come in at a different time than another. But if I put this into motion here, I mean, it certainly looks like that could be debris coming up from the southwest
and moving right across I-80. So for people traveling there from the truck stop just on the Bondurant exit from that area, make sure that, again, when you run into a situation like this, you pull over. Don't go drive underneath the bridge and park there. It's one of the worst places where it actually increases the velocity of the wind and can do more damage to your vehicle. And again, just be very careful when you have these scenarios. But now it looks like this is not so much an observed tornado warning. If I'm looking at it right, I think my eyes are still holding on here, but it does look like a tornado warning now from Mitchellville all the way over to Colfax.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Still a spin there. It's radar indicated for sure, but it does look a little bit better.
Yeah, and obviously they're right in keeping this warning going. And again, still trying to, definitely could still be some debris there with that storm.
And I'm looking at one of our other computers. It's actually running the long-range view of the radar. There is another line from Stewart that Jerry Ann pointed out earlier through Greenfield all the way down to southwestern Iowa that is just redeveloping, not severe weather, but a lot of heavy rain, a lot of lightning within that system. So we're looking close up here from our tornado warnings. Of course, that's where we want to focus this evening and have been throughout the night. But these two tornado warnings in effect for Jasper and Polk County, and then back down toward Monroe, that's where we are focusing tonight. We have, I believe, 3 tornado warnings still in effect. These go until 9:30. So again, if you're watching WHO 13, we've been on the air since just after 6 o'clock this evening. We're here to keep you safe. Want to make sure that you're aware of where these tornadoes are. They have been on the ground. They've been flying through here from western Iowa, Nebraska, all the way now up to our doorsteps, now east of the Des Moines area. That one in effect until 9:30. But on a wider view, there we are from Pleasantville back down into that Highway 65 area just south of Indianola, Melcher, Dallas. This is that tornado warning for Jasper, Marion, and Warren counties, all highlighted here. That goes until 10 o'clock tonight. That's the newest tornado warning that we have. And I believe this tornado warning is still until 9:30, I believe, for that area.
Check that out. Yeah, 9:30, so another 11 minutes. There's not much in the way of rotation there, but as we've seen tonight, that's meaningless because that rotation can redevelop pretty quickly. So definitely stay in your safe space down there in that southwestern warning for Lucas and Marion and Warren counties.
I did notice earlier too that when we go wide out and show the tornado watch, the tornado warnings, there's even an aerial flood warning or advisory just out near that Carroll area, just east of Carroll. And on the wider view, you can see that big long line that's redeveloping off of the severe thunderstorm warning for Fort Dodge. We're not forgetting about you folks up there. Make sure that you are staying safe tonight. Stay away from windows. Kind of treat it, severe thunderstorm warnings can, again, generate tornadoes at any time. But
most of the tornadoes did occur over the rural areas and, unfortunately, the suburbs of Omaha. There were several hundred homes damaged around the suburbs of Omaha. In fact, 4 city blocks were classified as destroyed, even. in the suburbs of Omaha. We also have several different tornadoes that have touched down across the area, including, let me just pull up a few here on the thing here. Oh, there's just a lot. Yeah, Tenant, there were several buildings that were damaged around Tenant. From the best I can tell, I think the actual town missed the tornado because all the damage reports I'm seeing are just south of the tornado, are just south of the town. So Tenant most likely did not take a direct hit. Harlan just barely got missed as well. The tornado passed just a couple of miles to the west of Harlan, but there were several homes to the west of Harlan that were completely destroyed as well. This is the long track tornado we had. Looking through some of the damage reports, we also have there was tornadoes damage near Afton, Iowa. There was damage near Creston, Iowa. Several reports came in from Creston, Iowa. We have several reports also from Underwood, Iowa, where a tornado crossed in that area. Blair, Nebraska, this was from the very first of the tornado emergencies, that had several structures damaged. Now, thankfully, I know we mentioned it earlier, but yes, there was a nuclear power plant actually in the path of that tornado, but the nuclear power plant has been decommissioned since 2013. So we weren't at risk really with that. But there were several homes around the area of where the nuclear power plant was that were heavily damaged or destroyed. There was several things. I've seen enough injury reports that probably say we've had maybe a couple dozen injuries today. But I don't have any true numbers because most law enforcement isn't releasing specific numbers here and there, just because it is so widespread, especially around Omaha. So I will be keeping everyone updated on that in the Discord server. Obviously, there's going to be surveys that go on tomorrow, but it'll take several days for the surveys from yesterday, today, and most likely tomorrow.
Hey Ryan, we're
tornadoes that
just
occur
due
those 3
southeast
days
of the main circulation
to come out.
Not
so.
Okay, thank you very much, Elijah, for the updates. Lots of stuff going on. Once again, we're going to learn more as the night goes on and into tomorrow. We'll try to, obviously, we're going to do our members only pre-stream tomorrow and really talk a lot about what happened today. But we'll also try to have enough time to, before the main stream on the channel here starts tomorrow, we'll try to have enough time to be able to walk you through a little bit of what we've learned about today as well. Which, once again, a lot of more damage reports are going to come in, and hopefully we keep the whole
area, and that would be the area along I-80. But I want to remind you, the city of Des Moines just under that tornado watch, and areas to the west of these communities are in the clear right now. Monroe area still remains under that tornado warning, as well as Pleasantville, and the Milo community is still under that tornado warning as well. And we do have some thunderstorms redeveloping just to the west of this area, but at this point they are below severe weather criteria. It looks like you're seeing some pretty strong radar returns once again.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this area down by Pleasantville. There may be rotation there. It almost looks more like convergence, like wind coming together and rising up into that storm. But that warning still remains in effect there, and so folks should obviously take it seriously given what's happened tonight. Let me show you what we're dealing with down there. So this is until 10 p.m. So we still got a ways to go for this morning for Jasper and Marion and Warren. And again, there's certainly perhaps some broad rotation aloft in that storm. So we need to keep an eye on it, because as we've seen tonight with the storm we had go over the metro, we had that storm die out and then redevelop very quickly again. And this storm that's over Pleasantville is kind of out on its own. There's nothing interfering with air flowing into it here, so it has that advantage, whereas these storms behind it, they don't have that. They're all kind of merging together into a line, and the inflow going into the storms is being interfered with by other storms. So we definitely need to watch this. Now, we still have this warning in effect for parts of the metro area. I want to take a look at the velocity again. I didn't see anything there last time, and there really isn't much there. I just am not seeing much there right now. Still, you want to stay alert and stay in your safe space there. I would think if there is something there, it would be right in this area right in here. But it certainly seems to have weakened. And of course, it's cut off from any inflow by what's happening to the south there in Prairie City. So hopefully that storm continues to weaken.
How rapidly these storms are turning.
Time limit as well. If they go through, I believe, 9:30 on that particular storm. Pleasantville, a little bit more active here, but we want to make sure that you stay safe. Gabe was just pointing out there have been no major incidences here, at least in the Des Moines Metro, with any damage or injuries. Not yet, but that's good news. And there's still some inflow, outflow, but it's kind of it's starting to lengthen out a little bit, shaving each other off just a little bit. Not the same turn that we had around Pleasantville, but it's still a dynamic system that is probably dropping a ton of hail here. High dynamics there as well for gusty wind moving right across the Lake Red Rock. I know a lot of people down there enjoy, of course, a weekend on boats, on getting outside, but this is probably not the weekend. You saw our forecast. It looked pretty bumpy anyway as we went through the entire week. Well, now it's become a road bump for a lot of folks. This is going to be a long situation of rebuilding in some areas of western Iowa and certainly back in Nebraska. We're so thankful that no major injuries have been reported. I just am amazed at watching that same system again poke down into the southwestern portion of the state. This tornado watch
so
has to go past 9, right?
Yeah, they've shaved off. Let's see, they've dropped
basically
Adair, Audubon, Boone, Calhoun, Carroll, Cass, Crawford, Dallas, Greene, Guthrie, Sac, and Story, and they've extended. They've added. Let's see here. Davis has been added. Mahaska, Marshall, Poweshiek, Tama, and Wapello have been added.
One second as I check a couple things here. Go ahead, Elijah.
Hey, Ryan, I wanted to mention something else that's actually more like a really amazing news thing. So, with all the Omaha tornadoes we had, there was actually kids in school. And the very first tornado emergency we had passed within a mile of 3 schools. One of those being an elementary school, one being a middle school, and one being a high school. And this is the tornado that actually destroyed 4 blocks. Earlier in the stream, I mentioned that one of the schools may have been hit. It was barely spared. It must have got missed by less than 100 yards, but the school took no damage as far as I'm aware. But there was hundreds of kids in there, and every single one of them survived, and the schools took no damage as far as I'm aware.
Amazing. Once again, thank you so much, Elijah, for some good news coming out of some of these places. Hopefully that continues to be the case. Our final tornado warning here that is, the storm is aiming towards Monroe. It continues to look less and less impressive on velocity. So I think that, unless something happens here soon, and, Brad is, noticing some things happening down there, but unless something big happens here soon, this might be, for the most part, winding down a little bit right now, okay? Still got storms out there, but for the most part, they are below severe limits. Huge shout out to Hoosier Traveler for becoming an official sponsor. Joe, thanks for becoming a member. And thanks to everybody who has supported today. If you can't do a super chat, obviously that's totally fine. We don't ask anybody to do it. But if you do want to show your support, the best way to do that is just to like the stream like you would a normal YouTube video. That tells the YouTube algorithm that we're worth 2 cents, and they might put us in front of other people tomorrow that need this life-saving information. And then also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want us to be here for you whenever the next big severe weather situation happens in your area, this is what I do. I've dedicated my life to this. And every single time that there's a hurricane, a big severe weather outbreak, a blizzard, anything like that, we're here.